it's converted to analog.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Gira Farrig versus Clerpy. What? What are you playing? And
They
why
ran
is
out
it?
of good names for Pokemon.
Why has it got an alien tongue coming out of its butt?
This is the world of, what is it? Is this Gen 2 Pokemon?
It's Gen 2. It's Girafarig.
That's Machop. I just named him Clerpy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Greetings.
Naming them funny. Sorry.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Saturday Night InSaNiTy for March 1st, 2014. We talk about all things geeky and whatever other random bullshit we decide to bring to the table.
Wow.
Usually involving bodily functions. I am deathly ill, but on the mend. I have slathered my body in vapor rub, so I am awash in the healing fumes of mentholyptus. It's like like liquid halls. Just
I can guarantee
smothering your body in halls.
I can spell it through the camera.
And I also have halls. It's wonderful.
Heal me, mentholyptus.
So I actually did go to work today, and didn't want to be there. All the managers who said, "Oh, come into work. We can put you in a room, segregated away. You don't even have to go on the phones." Yeah, none of them were there today, so I had no one that could provide that option for me. So I just went on the phones with my croaky voice, making use of the mute button whenever I had to cough up a lung.
You're lucky you're allowed to mute. Not everyone is. So.
See, I would get the customer talking about something in great lengthy detail and then mute so I could cough up a lung while they were describing it to me. Come back on. Uh-huh. Mute. There's an art to it.
So when you pick up the phone, when the phone gets picked up, I mean,
yes,
you're like, hello.
Whoa. What do you want? Six Slayer says, Sarah Nizak has in 2 feet of snow. You were saying another foot or more is on the way here tomorrow. Yeah, probably here too. It actually started snowing again today, just when it started to melt. So here we go.
Yeah, it does that.
Ridnara wants to talk about Game of Thrones. Says, what is so wrong about Jaime and Cersei banging? Well, you know, brotherly love.
And also complaining about how the boats are wrong in the show, but the boats can't be wrong because it's fantasy. So.
Well, I mean, the boats are whatever George R.R. Martin decided he wanted for the world he created. So there you go. There is no right or wrong. I mean, it's a fantasy world. How are we to say what's right or wrong?
And you chose the wrong one.
Renara says, incest isn't actually that bad. No one has a problem with the Targaryens doing it. 1 or 2 generations of it aren't that much of a problem. And Six Slayer points out, the Targaryens are all dead except one person. And some of them went quite barking mad, likely due to genetic defects and much incest. Ridnara says the Iron Islanders are basically Vikings, and the boats on the show are way too big.
Damn boats.
Well, they're big men with big egos and big muscles, and probably big penises, so they need big boats. Just the way it goes.
To carry all that peanuts.
Exactly. Just the sheer weight of all of that man sausage.
Great. Thank you, Bluto.
Bluto reviewed Bad Milo. I was going to say Mad Bilo.
which was so fucking funny, Sean. You would have died laughing.
Oh, I'm sure.
The whole commentary, we're just on the floor rolling around laughing. It was so fucking funny.
I'll have to.
So funny.
When I finally do get around to watching it, I will have to watch it with the commentary.
Oh my god, it was probably the funniest movie we've seen on Movie Getting Bang.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I missed it. I was just, I've been so fucking sick this week.
Yeah.
No way I would have survived. It would have been my deafening coughing overpowering everyone's laughter, and then coughing more from laughing.
We also watched Solomon Kane, and I was struck with the impression Sean would love this movie.
Well, of course, I've been waiting on that. Damn it. Well, I guess I'll watch it by myself then.
Oh, you have it?
I know, but it's high on my list because it's another Robert E. Howard creation.
Yeah, you're gonna love
it. It was fucking awesome too.
Was it really?
Yeah.
We had a few problems with it, but they weren't big enough to be like, that sucked. It was more like, that was a slight flaw, but overall it was fucking awesome.
There was a few issues with some bits of dialogue and a little bit of the structure, and that's it. And it was like, I didn't care because it was too engrossed in the movie.
Manic says,
I came up with those problems, you know?
Yeah. Manic says it's odd that Thor Dark World didn't include a slipcover in its release, and then Bluto points out the 3D version has a slipcover. I could have sworn the 2D version did too. I haven't picked it up yet, so I don't know.
And neither Blu-ray has a DVD copy, finally. The death of
Really?
DVD is slowly becoming apparent to the big studios.
Interesting. There you go.
Slowly.
I figured
We're not there yet.
Those that were in the transitional phase and making use of that have probably transitioned by now. So it's just redundant. Really? Manic says that's odd. Not even the 3D combo had a slipcover when I saw it at Future Shop. Well, maybe it was just that Future Shop. Shop around, because I saw quite a few copies at Walmart, and I'm pretty sure they all had slipcovers.
Someone probably stealing all the slipcovers to sell.
Yeah. Or just
Solomon Kane.
somebody being a dick and taking the slipcovers off before putting them on the shelves.
Yeah, we'll totally watch Solomon Kane with you, dude. Honestly.
Yeah, no, I would definitely like to watch it. Well, it's sort of part of my Robert E. Howard comic book collecting. I want to get the Solomon Kane comics because there aren't a lot of them. It's like less than half a dozen collected editions, and I've got them all.
Yeah.
There's a Del Rey book of all the original stories. So I like that.
Same format as the other.
Yep.
I've read a good chunk of those, but not all of them. So the movie takes like little pieces from certain stories, like the cool moments, right? And sometimes it just feels like he's just throwing all his eggs in one basket. But it's still a fantastic movie. It's just beautiful.
Haji Dwarf says, "Man, it's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere. Are you all alone, more or less?"
Oh man.
Don says, "Sean, do you plan on getting the Gilligan's Island sets for the 50th anniversary? Is that this year?"
Fuck.
God damn it.
We don't need more anniversaries.
I've got too many anniversaries I need to deal with. I might pass on that one. I do want to get the Gilligan's Island sets just eventually anyway, but it's not a huge priority for me. Cash Black mentions his Gravity Steelbook didn't have a DVD. Thankfully. I find the Steelbooks rarely come with DVD copies. It's usually just whatever the format is.
God bless that bot and all its myriad of functions.
So I had a very interesting comment on one of my YouTube videos today. I thought I would
here we go.
Share it with you all.
I've been waiting half an hour for this.
Yes, Skinslip has not read it, and I instructed him not to go to the Facebook page, so it would be a surprise. Let me just grab my coffee, and then I'll perform it for you.
Dick, move! Dick, move! Like, okay, I'm going to tell that story that you've been waiting for. Hold on, let me just go grab something.
Fortunately, I made a huge pot. Because hot drinks are good when you're sick.
drinks made with pot?
Sure. So, of all places, this was on my Logan's Run Blu-ray review from a while back, and nice one, Skinslip. Someone decided, well, I'm just going to read it to you, and it pretty much speaks for itself. I do understand a need for entertainment and to waste time in dribble. Who's typing?
Sorry.
Listen.
Listen now. Type later. And Travis Spearwagon commented on that and says, I love it when people say dribble when they mean drivel.
Yeah. I don't. It makes you angry.
So he carries on and says, what I do not understand is how, with all the information and the technology we have, with which we can search Scripture and prove to ourselves the validity of creation and our gift of eternal life, we tend to drift into labor which has no future when it comes to eternity or to show and teach it to our neighbors. I enjoy watching a good movie like anyone else would. Just waiting for the typing.
It's Tank. You just mute him.
Damn it, Tank!
What the fuck, Google? For one time you don't mute
I was totally glaring at Skinslip, and it wasn't even him.
Perfectly still, yeah. It doesn't mute you in a live stream. Just so you guys know, type in the live stream, mute yourself.
Yeah,
I realized we were on live. It was muting me before we went live, but as soon as we went live, it didn't mute me.
Alright, okay, here we go. So, I enjoy watching a good movie like anyone else would, but my main interest is learning Scripture and understanding my Father through the writing word, his letter to humanity. It concerns me that we can get so carried away with our interests to a point where it is the gifts of God with poison our hunger for a relationship with him.
I don't want a relationship with the old guy.
And then he says, Zarin Isaac, post the whole movie. and then he says, remember, Jesus, all capitals, is coming back, and of that there is plenty of prov, and little time to get ready. We will not be able to get ready overnight, 2 words. Not likely anyway. It is a process even if sometimes God can make it happen in an eye blink, but don't count on it. Thank you for posting, Sajo Nara.
What? Okay.
So my comment at the top here, just as I posted, I said, let me preface this with an apology to my religious friends. You know I loves ya. But I wasn't about to let this jackass get away with trying to ram his religion down me and my viewers' throats and somehow justify piracy in the same breath. My response. To post the entire movie would go directly against the Word of God. Specifically, the 8th commandment, thou shalt not steal. For to do so would steal food from the mouths of the children of the hundreds of people who worked on the film, helped to promote it, distributed it, not to mention the hard-working people who remastered it for DVD and Blu-ray release, the workers who assembled the packaging, the distributors who sent it to stores, and so on. Not to mention, this channel is not about posting copyrighted material, which would be flagged and removed in about 5 minutes, so what would be the point exactly? It is about sharing interests and the love of good stories with other like-minded people. The Blu-ray itself goes for about $7. Help feed those children and obey the Word of God by buying it. Myself, I don't plan on going to hell for something so trivial. I've got way better sins I'd rather be condemned for.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful.
Thus far, no response, but clearly the person is insane.
Yeah. If there's a God, that's a big if, here's my relationship with him. He doesn't bother me, I don't bother him. The end.
Yeah.
He turns a blind eye while I jerk off. That's it. I don't watch him kill and maim thousands of innocent people every day.
That's right.
Nope, Chuck Testa. Oh, that's
no, Chuck Testa.
You know, Chuck Testa owned is from California. He's from 20 minutes from where I used to live, actually, north of me. And one of my friends actually went and visited him for his YouTube channel. It was pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Draven says, Bible lessons from Zarin Isaac. Patrick Butler says, "Oh God."
Oh God.
Welcome to the chat, Patrick Butler.
Six Layer says, "That's baller, Z. I was laughing my head off when I read that earlier."
I don't know about baller. I mean, you know, no one should want to be a baller. I'm saying.
Manic says, "No, Bibble to go with the dribble." Reading the Bibble, yes. But I mean, the thing that gets me about religious zealot types. I'm not talking about people who are just, you know, practicing Christians or practicing Muslims.
Or even passionate.
Or whatever. It's fine. But the zealots, the ones that are, it's like, you must believe what I believe or you will be condemned for eternity. The thing that strikes me about so many of those types is how illiterate most of them seem to be. It's like they've dedicated the whole focus of their existence on this one book, this one scripture, and that's the whole center of their existence. To the point where all of their other education has suffered, and they are actually completely unable to express themselves coherently. I mean, if you read that comment, half of it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's completely incoherent. Because this person just doesn't know how to express themselves. Why? Because they buried their nose in the Bible for their whole frickin' lives and didn't actually learn how to speak.
Most of them haven't even actually read the Bible.
All things in moderation, people. All things in moderation.
If I can get on to the historical reality of the Bible, because that will just defend all our religious viewers. Obviously, just inform them how diluted that book is.
Yeah. Movie 43 won Worst Picture. Ridnara says, "I believe the flying spaghetti monster will save us all." There you go.
All hail the Hypnotoad.
All glory to the low cloud.
Well, there you go. Cash Black does very short, succinct reviews of stuff. His videos are very easily digestible.
1 minute, 15 seconds long. It's good.
It's good. Buy it. Here's the inside. Here's the front. Here's the back.
Wait. Patrick Butler just said that movie 43 is the worst one of the worst pictures, which is unfair, frankly, because movie 43 isn't the worst movie out that last year. Also, isn't a bad movie. So.
Huh. Are we talking about the Razzies?
Probably. But the Razzies got things wrong all the time.
The remaker says, "I've read all of the Book of Genesis. Fuck, that book is way too long to read."
Genesis, TLDR.
I actually have...
TLDR, shit got made, bro.
No, I don't have it on the shelf here, but I actually have a comic book adaptation of the entire Bible. It's called The Picture Bible. Now that actually is easy to read because it's all, you know, broken down. And
I think I had one like that when I was a kid, actually.
Yeah, there was a couple different editions. A friend of mine, very devout Catholic, had a black and white version. Mine was full color. It was
Didn't
quite nice.
Crumb do a graphic representation of the Book of Genesis? Didn't he draw the Book of Genesis?
Maybe.
Somebody find out. Somebody in the chat, because we're all lazy.
Pluto 1992 says, "The Internship was the worst movie of 2013. I just finished it an hour ago."
Well, now I'm going to have to watch. Thanks, dick. Hold on, I'm pouring my chaser, which also has booze in it. Hold on.
Like, I don't know. I think we could come up with a good list of worst movies of 2013.
Yeah.
Me and Justin saw most of them.
Yeah.
We saw most of the movies out last year, except for some of the bigger theatrical releases.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at film in 2013.
Oh.
Seen so many fucking movies.
Oh my God.
I don't remember what they are.
Wet Now for Life says, "Here is the website for the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster." Yes, it exists.
It just existed for longer than you've been on the internet, Brennan. It existed for longer than I've been on the internet. Anyways, cheers to God not being real.
Cheers!
Wow. So much for not offending our religious viewers.
I don't give a shit.
Metal Madness!
Greetings!
Oh my God, Metal's here.
Metal, did you shave your head?
house.
Welcome to another episode of Movie Gang. Wait a minute. Hey, what's going on?
Did you shave your head? Oh no, it's just the darkness. Never mind. I thought you went full line, like fuck it, it's gone.
No, God shaved my head.
Very slowly over the last 30 years.
I feel
the
your
darkness.
So, Metal, we were just talking about an interesting subject.
No,
and I'd
not
like to
going
hear your
bold.
thoughts on it. What would you say was the worst movie of 2013?
Wait. Cannot say Into the Darkness. Cannot say Iron Man 3. Choose a real worst movie. That's all I'm saying.
Other than that one.
Because those aren't the worst movie you know. I mean, if you know the most, that doesn't make them the worst movie. That's all. I just want to clarify there before you go on that boat.
Then I would have to say Star Trek Into Darkness.
Wow. I hope God shaves your head. God.
Wow.
Oh God, I don't know. I really didn't see that many movies. I really hated, obviously, Iron Man 3 and Star Trek Into Darkness, but they obviously weren't the worst movies of the year. I was highly disappointed in those two.
Really?
I was disappointed in Kick-Ass 2 also.
I haven't seen that one yet. I need to get it.
Fair enough. These are all very good choices, you know.
I've only seen 5 minutes of this movie, and I can already tell you it's way worse than movie 43. The Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghosts of Georgia.
The one that isn't even in Connecticut?
Yeah. Well, on top of it, we watched 3 minutes of it into that conclusion. We will actually finish it in the future. It's just...
We couldn't watch anymore at that point. We were just like, I can't do this tonight. I can't. Because the fucking camera angles, the fucking cinematography was
there you go.
fucking horrendous.
Sorry,
I don't even think there was any dialogue at that point.
Just to interrupt for a moment, Wormhead just confirmed the Book of Genesis Illustrated by Robert Crumb.
Very awesome.
So, yeah, there you go. Sorry, Ridnara was just commenting, said Ender's Game. Didn't like Ender's Game, and then added, actually, I can't tell if it was a terrible movie or if my standards were too high. What did people think of Ender's Game?
Actually, I enjoyed Ender's Game.
Okay.
Bluto says he loved it.
3 people I know who have never read the book who all saw the movies thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Now, I know I'm going to be disappointed because I've read the book like 5 times. So, I mean, like, I know I'm going to be disappointed. And there's no way it can reach up to the book. It's not possible, right?
Mm.
So, I'm going in knowing I'm going to be disappointed, so hopefully it won't be as bad as I think it's going to be, you know? And then that'll make me happy.
I think I'm going to change my answer. I'm not sure if this was 2012 or 13. I think it's 13, but I tried to watch Bullet to the Head the other day, and I could not fucking take it. It was
2013.
Okay, that was fucking horrible.
Six Player says After Earth. Duh.
I don't know. I have it over here. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Haji Dwarf says Die Hard 5. Die Hard 5 was so horrible, even I stopped watching it. Yeah, and Haji will watch pretty much anything.
And then someone said Insidious 2 was no way near as good as the first one. And I said Insidious 2 was also incredibly offensive to transgendered people, which is true.
Huh.
So, as is Sleepaway Camp, the movie in which they stole the entire point of Insidious 2 from. Just to ruin it for Matt, who's the only one who's seen it.
Great. Well, I noticed Die Hard 5 is already in the bargain bins, so I might be able to get it cheap to finish off my Die Hard collection. Quite nice. And I can watch it for myself. Yeah. It goes for about $15 on Blu-ray right now.
Oh, fuck that.
$15.
Wait for it to go down to like 7 or something.
It'll go down to 7 closer to Christmas, trust me.
Yeah. Probably sooner than that.
Oh my god, Cashbox said the Canyon's the worst influence in the head. Justin, go! You know the Canyons is great, go! Explain. I haven't seen it yet. So.
You said the what was the worst?
The Canyons was the worst in Bullet in the
Canyons?
Head. Yeah.
Oh, no it wasn't. Did you not even understand that movie? That movie was fucking amazing.
Instead, just quit.
It was a fucking commentary.
Chat anyway.
I
says.
I had to redo my internet thing.
Ridnara says, I just wish Orson Scott Card wasn't such a prick, but Ender's Game is one of my favorite books. Please elaborate. I haven't seen any interviews with Orson Scott Card or anything like that, so I don't really know what he's like as a person. Oh, really?
Vehemently, he thinks they should all be castrated and shot into space, essentially.
Wow.
He wants them. He thinks they're an offense to God and creation and wants them all dead.
Well, I guess I'll be buying all of his books from secondhand shops then.
That's right. I haven't bought it, and he's been like that for decades. So I've never once paid full price store-bought money for any of his books, and I've had to buy new games like 3 times because it keeps getting stolen from me.
Renara says, not enough Game of Thrones talk. I'm going to bed. You silly West Coasters start things too late. Because it's not late for us. It's not even 9:30 yet.
Oh,
I know how you feel, man.
I don't give a shit. Go to bed. We didn't really need to know. Bye.
She's in North Carolina. As far east as you can get.
Well, there you go.
Even farther east than me.
Or farther easter.
Bye.
Well, have a good night. Thanks for joining us for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Wuss.
It's kind of sad. Oh, you're not talking about every show. I'm leaving, and then they'll leave, and then we're gonna talk about the show because they're gone, right?
That's right. Yeah. Finally, Renara's gone. Now we can talk about Game of Thrones, good and proper. Medieval Land Funtime World.
Yes. That's the greatest thing ever. I want that to be a TV show.
I watched that so many times.
Those people need to make a TV show about a medieval funtime world or whatever, right? And voice those characters. That sounds like a really cool concept, you know? Like,
actually, speaking of Medieval Land Funtime World, I watched my Blu-ray of Westworld last night.
That's vaguely related in no way at all.
Well, you know, theme park.
I suppose.
I forgot just how fucking awesome that movie is. I mean, the technology is ridiculously dated, like all their little tech talk about the computer stuff and things, but it's notable for having one of the earliest references to computer viruses in cinematic history ever. In fact, it may be the first, other than Star Trek. But
computer viruses? Probably.
Yeah.
Good chance.
Because they talk about it, because that's basically what causes the robots to go berserk. It's just a computer virus.
First someone mentioned this film to mention computer virus. Go. Come on, Google.
Yeah.
That's not helpful.
If it's not the first, it's definitely...
I was just curious if someone had found that out. I have no idea, you know.
Yeah, I thought it looked great too, Cash. I really need to see it on a bigger screen. It looked great on my 21.5-inch monitor. Yeah, I need to get Futureworld as well. I didn't realize Futureworld was a separate release. It's actually a Show Factory release. Westworld is just a Warner Brothers release. And it's one of those ones that I know Stout loves that has FBI warnings at the end of the movie in like 800 different languages. It just goes on for like 45 minutes. Like, really? Do you really need all these languages here?
Let's see. A question that's been brought up. I'm going to split this into 2 answers. Best funny and best serious TV character. Yes.
Get yourself here, please.
Oh, I see. Stout is... Alright, here, I'll read what Stout's writing as he's writing it. Says, the same guy who wrote Taxi Driver directed The Canyons. If you don't think there's some really awesome social commentary in his choice to hire Lindsay Lohan as this generation's Hollywood starlet, this generation's Marilyn Monroe, and an ex-porn star named James Dean, D-E-E-N, James Dean, anyone? To play her counterpart, while everyone in the film proceeds to stare at their phones throughout the majority of it. Hello? Don't you get it?
Fly.
Wetna for Life says, Stout might go Hulk mode in here in a moment.
That didn't look anything like Hulk.
Stout
That's
smash.
more like a Stout spasm.
Yeah.
Stout having a spasm.
It's probably more likely to happen, actually.
Patrick says, R.I.P. Harold Ramis. 6 there, R.I.P. Harold, we will miss you. Absolutely.
1973.
Abso-smurfly. Ghostbusters isn't the same without Egon.
$1 billion brain. So he's not been in chronological order this whole time. I fucking hate you, List.
What is?
I'm searching for. I'm curious about what the first movie that mentioned the virus is. It might be that movie.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find out. I'm curious.
Yeah, Westworld was great. It was actually the first movie I ever saw Yul Brynner in.
Awesome.
So at the time, I had no idea that he was this famous actor who had been in like a gajillion westerns.
Yeah, it was so fucking fitting and not even funny.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I realize now that he was essentially playing like a parody of his previous characters. In fact, apparently his costume in Westworld is exactly the same as his costume in one of his famous ones. I can't remember. Maybe the Magnificent Seven. But all I gotta say is, damn, he was scary in that. He was so scary as the gunslinger. Just terrifying. He was like the Terminator before the Terminator.
That, in fact, as far as I can tell, as far as I can find, is the earliest film
like
that
to reference computer viruses. Well, it was
75, right?
73.
Ah, okay.
It was actually written and directed by Michael Crichton, who likes to do things about theme parks gone wrong. Jurassic Park.
Because he feels it's the biggest form of commercialism that needs just to go wrong and be misused.
Yeah, for sure. It was. That's right. He was in the Ten Commandments. Yeah. So it is written. So it shall be done.
I put LOL if you did not like the canyons, stare at it harder.
No, go back and watch it again with an open mind.
That's what I said, stare at it harder. Just
stare. I just found the keyword for computer virus, and there's a lecture, doesn't help.
Everybody, Don's asking, Sean, why do some people want a Ghostbusters 3 at this point in time? Why not? It's one of the greatest comedy movies ever made. Why not have...
Oh, sorry.
Why not have one more go-around, just to send it off? I mean, the whole idea behind Ghostbusters 3, what Dan Aykroyd was saying, was that it was basically going to be a passing of the torch to a new team of Ghostbusters. I mean, the concept, as a franchise concept, is still solid. It's still sound. I mean, it has plenty of life left in it. Look at the real Ghostbusters, and look how long that ran. And Extreme Ghostbusters. Extreme Ghostbusters was very much what Ghostbusters 3 would be. It was a passing of the torch to a new team, and it was a great show. So, I mean, if they could do a movie of the same caliber as Extreme Ghostbusters, I don't see any reason why it couldn't continue.
Okay, I have confirmation now.
But, sorry, I was just going to say, well, the general feeling in the chat here seems to be, no Egon, no Ghostbusters 3. And,
well, see, I beg to differ on that.
I think it could work. It wouldn't be the same.
I got the perfect storyline for that.
I do, actually.
So Egon dies, and they stop being Ghostbusters, and these kids love the Ghostbusters and want to continue Ghostbusting. That's how you do it, right there. Right there.
Yeah.
Just make Egon dead in the story, too. Or even Egon Bill Murray, since Bill Murray said he didn't really want to do it, so.
Sorry,
what was your idea?
My idea was a lot simpler than that.
Okay.
It was literally just, it starts off, it shows the original house and everything. They're all just kind of sitting there, and the place is looking kind of run down. So that it's like, they have nothing's happened and then they mention that Egon is no longer with us, and that it kind of put a dent in everything, and everything just kind of fell to pieces from there. Then something big happens, and they decided, in honor of Egon, they decided to go on one last ghost bust. And this is and becomes this big epic adventure. This one last, maybe they could bring back a villain.
A last blast of some kind.
One last go. And then maybe at the very end, they do your idea and they pass on to a new team.
Yeah.
Would be a cool transition with that is with Egon gone. I mean,
with Egon.
I'm sorry. Dan Aykroyd's character might be able to maintain the proton packs at some point, but Egon designed and built them.
Yes, he was the
eventually they would
guy.
they would get to a point where they would fall apart. So to introduce the new characters, the new Ghostbusters, you could find some like young physicist student who's all about the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who had secretly admired Egon this entire time.
Well, and I think
heartedly studied his work. And
from what little we've heard, I think that's
Jack
kind of
Black.
the direction that Dan Aykroyd was going anyway.
Built a new proton pack.
A
neutron pack.
So, well, and I say again, like as Skinsup and I were saying, it's like if you want to see an example of how that concept can work really, really well, watch Extreme Ghostbusters. It's fucking awesome. It's a brilliant continuation of it.
Absolutely.
I know who could play the young physicist. I know who could do it. Simon Pegg.
I totally thought you were going to say Shia
Oh my
LaBeouf.
God! The new Ghostbusters are Simon Pegg, Jack Black, Nick Frost.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry.
Jack
sold
Black?
me the idea.
No.
We got to
Fuck
catch
you.
some
No.
comments here. Some comments. Cash Black just says, just asked Sean, did you watch the Westworld TV show TV pilot included on the Blu-ray yet? Yeah, Beyond Westworld. I was trying to find out some information about that. Apparently, it didn't last very long. It only lasted like 7 episodes. Only 5 of which aired. I'd love to get like a DVD set of that just to have. It's nice and short. But I watched like the first few minutes of it just to sort of get a feel for what it was like. But I haven't actually sat down and watched the whole thing yet. Wetno for Life says play the Ghostbusters video game closest to Ghostbusters 3. Yeah, that's what my understanding is. I do plan to pick that up this year as part of the 30th anniversary celebration. The remaker says Ghostbusters the video game is a perfectly fine third Ghostbusters story, and it has all the original cast in it, including Bill Murray, which...
Yep. And they have come out and said that the story in the game is canon to the 2 movies.
That's right. So
it happens literally right after the second film.
There you go. Don
So,
says...
as I was going to... Oh, sorry.
So technically it
I
is...
just want to get caught up on the chat here. And then Don says, if we don't get a Ghostbusters 3, will you consider the Ghostbusters game as a third installment? Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's just as Garbage Gamer just said. It is considered canon to the story. And it has everybody from the movie in it. Reprising their roles. I mean, and it's great. And because it was done as a video game, they could have it set, right after the second one and not have them age. They don't have to worry about how they're 30 years older.
I'd like to say I confirm that Westworld is the first time in cinema history, in any broadcast medium actually, that a computer writer has mentioned, except for one British Symposium of Computer Sciences lecture that aired literally a year before. That's it. That's it. You've got the first movie reference of computer writers confirmed.
Sorry, which one was it?
Westworld.
It was Westworld.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just confirmed
awesome.
it. So
there we go. Awesome.
there's only one other thing in video, like I said, that was actually mentioned, and that was a symposium talk on computer viruses.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's broadcast on British TV.
Nice. Cash just says it ends up being pretty good, referring to the Beyond Westworld pilot. Yeah, it looked pretty solid from what I saw. I guess
that's a good idea.
It was just one of those things that just didn't catch on.
I just said, wasn't the story for Ghostbusters 3 going to have Venkman as a ghost? Why not change it a little and have Egon as the ghost?
Yeah.
And then
It'd be interesting to see it. I mean, no, they could just do like what Brandon said earlier. You know, you could just do a CGI Egon, especially if he's a ghost.
I'd rather not have it, but I mean,
it gives you creative liberty. If
I'll put it
you
this way:
have
I'll leave it
him
to
as a
Ramis'
ghost the
family.
entire time.
I'll leave it to Ramis' family to respect his.
Oh yeah, totally. This is all.
It's up to them. If they want him
Literally,
to be
this
a
whole
CGI character in the movie, they'll do
yeah,
it.
this whole conversation about having him in the third Ghostbusters movie and having him like this and the story being like that. Yeah, it's totally dependent on whether they will even allow it. Which, if I were the family, I would honestly not let it happen for at least a year.
I wouldn't do it at all. There's no reason to. Like, I would. The most I would do is let them use CGI rendition of Dead River to do like a pre-thing where like Egon dies or something. You know, like if you really had to film that sequence because it was important to the movie or whatever, that would be cool. Like I'd be okay with that.
You
But
get
I
like
wouldn't
a
want yeah.
like a back shot of the Ghostbusters, and you just get somebody like a stunt double who looks like Egon.
Well, no, if you look at Tron Legacy, that was a bad example because of the shitty CGI in the head, but they can do something like that, where they just don't show the face.
I don't see. Okay, I really got to stop people bashing the CGI in Tron Legacy. That was incredibly well done. Yes.
On the head?
On the head. On the head, yes.
Which part? Wait. Let's break it down a little bit. Which specific part are you talking about?
The very beginning.
The
rest
beginning.
of it's fine.
The young Jeff Bridges in the opening scene?
Yes. That's the only time it looks bad, because when you're in the computer, it's totally acceptable. Because you're inside a computer, right?
Well, yeah, that's true.
This is totally...
comparing it to what we're able to do right now, there does not exist a CGI where the head looks like you could a double where you can tell from apart.
Well, of course
that movie was made. So when that movie was made, that was incredible on the way they did it. It literally the design of the face when he turned around, he was in that kind of shaded light. As long as he didn't talk, it looked incredibly real.
They should never show his face. There's no point, you know.
Well, I thought it was actually really effective when they weren't showing his face because
it looks great from behind.
You're just seeing like from the back and just kind of from the like half side view and because you could really imagine that it's 1982 again, you know, or 1985 or whenever the fuck it was.
I wonder who they got to.
Cash, you used the word uncanny valley, the phrase uncanny valley wrong. Uncanny valley is where you cannot discern between reality and fiction. You can't. No one's been able to get through the. You know, like it's.
It's not. That's not quite it. It's basically where it's close to reality, but in a way that we don't accept as reality, so it's disturbing.
Oh, is that right? I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right, Cash. Shut up.
It's like it's a little bit too. It's too real, but not real enough. So it just kind of upsets us in some way.
Yeah.
It's hyper.
You want a perfect example?
We have unrealistic expectations of how it should have looked.
Perfect example of the Uncanny Valley. Look at all those creepy, realistic Japanese girl robots that they use to present stuff over in Japan. Creepy as hell.
Want one in my house with working vagina.
Yep.
Robosexuality is wrong.
Hey, I want a gyroid. Shut up.
Hey.
Robosexuality.
You know.
Android.
You know that's what we were all thinking when we saw Westworld.
Uncanny Valley of the Dawn. Holy shit.
I like this idea. Robo-hookers.
When people talk about like robo hookers and robosexuality and all stuff, I always think of the Stepford Wives.
Well, that's true.
All over that. All over it. Sorry, literally coming all over it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. The religious guy commented.
Oh.
There is a response. Here we go. Says, I agree. I might have spoken in a hurry. I did not mean to condemn or that it is a result of entertainment or to publish on it. It is just apparent to me that devoting a lot of time into it can be detrimental. We can nearly see Christ coming in the clouds. We can smell it in the air or feel it in our bones. And still we tend to, or are prone to, spend time in triviality, as I am doing now with dribble. Dribble again. Yes, I am just as guilty as most. And yes, there are much worse things of which I am guilty of on... Oh, there's more. Hold on, I gotta actually go to the page. Hold on. Hold on, I'm getting there. It's loading.
Pluto getting popcorn ready.
There we are, okay. On another point, Logan's Run has been out for over 30 years or so. By now, I would think it to be public domain. Oh, God. No, it is not. It is owned by fucking Warner Brothers. Not the Blu-ray version. You're also right. It would be flagged and removed in no time flat. All I wanted is to watch the last 2 minutes of the show. The whole movie is awesome, considering when it was made. Still, Jesus is coming soon, and of that there is no mistake.
Wow, it's like, is he bipolar or something? Does he just like he talks about one thing then
trolling?
He goes,
that was totally.
I totally understand. You know, this movie's copyrighted. Jesus is coming.
Yeah. Maybe the Blu-ray version's copyrighted, but clearly the VHS version in public domain.
By the way,
the Blu-ray version of Jesus is coming.
And define soon, sometime in the next
Look at the definition.
2 billion years. I mean, what
You
the...
can
Soon
see
is
him in the
never.
clouds. You can see him in the clouds.
You can smell him. Oh,
You
sorry.
can smell him coming on the air.
He
Oh,
smells
man.
like a
Jesus.
hippie. A
Take
hippie
a
love
bath,
cloud.
Jesus.
I've apparently smelled him. He smells like, gasoline.
He smells like Portland.
Green grass, and sometimes when I fart,
He smells like
it stinks
hipster.
really bad.
Yeah, he smells like Portland, like I said.
I just hate the
So-
end is nigh, people.
So I think he needs to go to Portland because apparently Jesus is alive in the hill of
Well,
Portland.
the end is nigh for everybody. We're only
Well-
here for a short while. Nigh is not really decided.
Dude,
You know what it actually reminds
Jesus
me
is
of?
coming.
You know what it actually reminds me of, Brandon, you'll get this, is that infamous Top Gear moment when Hammond's like talking about some new car and Jeremy just looks off and just goes, Jesus is here!
God.
There's like some long-haired guy in the audience. They're like, is he the guest?
Is he the guest?
It's easy to guess. Yes, that was the best part.
What's old G with? I just remember the Aqua Teen Hunger Force one where they couldn't say Jesus on TV, so they called him old G Wiz.
It is.
Why can't they call him Jesus on TV?
For standards and practices.
That's retarded.
That's
I know.
a great episode
that's
where they
fucking
shoot a
hilarious.
nun's.
That-
They shoot a nun in the head,
Comes out.
and the rainbow, and he goes, acceptable.
That's something I would love to see though on Top Gear is Jesus at a lap in the reasonably priced car.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sorry, Jesus, you're still slower than Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell drives like
he
a
is
madman,
clearly
though.
the Antichrist.
Simon Cowell's the Antichrist.
Yeah, Simon Cowell also drives like a fucking madman. Kidding. Anyway.
Well, when he
I think
first
he also set the course record for the most number of swears ever uttered on a lap.
Yep. Yes, you did. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So I just basically said, this may be, the details might be slightly off, but it's more or less right. The film is owned by Warner Brothers. It is absolutely 100% not public domain. U.S. copyright law states that a creative work only becomes public domain if it was created a minimum of 70 years ago, and if no individual or studio has proven ownership and renewed the copyright. As Logan's Run was a studio production, the copyright will never lapse as long as the studio remains in business.
Or chooses to renew it.
Yeah,
Sometimes choose not to. So.
yeah. Very rarely, though.
Yeah.
This is my answer to that.
Potato!
Oh, hold on a second. Let me see what you got. Go to Cass's thing. There we go.
You got potato!
We got potato, we
Yeah, it's
got
got
broccoli. That's totally great value broccoli, isn't it? I can tell.
Yeah, it is. No, it's frozen broccoli, but yeah.
Frozen
That's the
great
same thing.
value brand broccoli.
Yeah,
It's actually Green Giant.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have great value
Surprised.
broccoli.
Green
So
Giant.
you got a
broccoli.
steak there, you got mushrooms. Nice.
But
Barbecue glaze and Montreal pepper seasoning.
the important part is potato!
Well, he's Irish. So what kind of steak did you get there?
It's from Safeway.
Well, I didn't mean what store. I meant what cut of meat did you get?
Cow.
Cow.
It was red.
Sirloin, T-bone.
I
What?
believe it's an
Steak.
outside round.
Outside
Oh.
round.
So it was cheap, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's okay. It tastes good. Who cares?
You really can't go wrong with pretty much any cut of steak.
Pluto goes,
Except liver, maybe.
Well,
favorite episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He goes, tonight,
mm.
you. Which is the hand banana episode.
Of course, as I messaged you, Eric, you probably got that quote. I made the great mistake of watching the Going Into Fry's Body episode while eating
I
breakfast
watched
this
that
morning.
episode today, too.
So I'm sitting there eating my, nice, cooked in butter hash browns as they're sliding through the earwax into Fry's brain.
Oh, yeah. And then he goes, we're going to have to take a look in your bowels. And he gets this big, huge camera. And Fry opens his mouth and goes, guess again.
Yes, again! I love that.
I hate that noise that they make. 'Cause apparently that's a realistic noise.
Ugh.
It's like this slurpy kind of...
I call it the moist noise because
Yes, it is
nobody
the
likes to
moist.
say moist and nobody likes to hear that noise.
Seriously
Devoid
moist
salt?
noise.
I feel very moist today.
Shit. Okay.
Here's a bit of trivia for you. See if you know where this is from. The night was moist.
That's way too vague.
Anybody? No, it's actually not. If you know where it's from.
Well, that's the point.
That doesn't make it less vague.
From the train?
No. Yes! I knew someone would get it.
I'm like, no.
The reason it's not vague is because one of the running themes of that movie is Billy Crystal is the struggling writer trying to figure out the perfect opening line for his book, and he's stuck on "the night was" for like half the movie. Then finally, and he also runs like a writers group. So he finally comes up with "the night was moist." Fine, we'll just go with that. The night was moist. So then he goes to his writers group the next day, and he's reading the latest stories from his students. And the first one he reads, "The night was moist. Class dismissed." He literally spent months.
There's
The
conversation on the
The
outside
next
of my
person
mouth.
that says cram gets their voice privileges removed.
Cram?
So moist is replacing cram?
Let's see here. Take ops and take voice from Justin. There you go. No voice from Justin.
Oh, damn.
But,
How will Stout ever talk now? Stout?
Well, I would tell you that.
you did it on purpose.
Yeah.
There's fog on the window. That too is...
Condensation.
It's just a zoom-in shot.
Damn, now I want to watch Throw Mama from the Train again.
I want to watch it for movie
Sean?
game. That'd be cool.
What?
I've never seen it.
Really?
So I'll gladly watch it if you want to watch
Cat,
it.
Cat,
Alright.
this
We'll have
is
to
the
watch
table, and I'm flipping it. What the fuck? Actually,
You'll love it.
but I think I've never seen it either.
It's actually it's Danny DeVito's directorial debut.
Mm.
And
I've
it's
heard great things.
It's basically a dark comedy slash homage to slash parody of Strangers on a Train.
Mm.
And
Which I haven't seen either, so.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
So we should probably watch Strangers on a Train first.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That would make an awesome double bill if we did Strangers
We
on a
should
Train followed
do
by Throw Mama from the Train.
Yep. I think we should take a break before we go into Die Ruger.
Followed by
We should
I Like
watch-
Trains.
I think we should watch a few movies this week, and then next week do Die Ruger. The week after next, I mean. So that, like, there's a spacing, so don't get fucking burnt out in anime, bro.
I've been humming the theme all day.
I'm sorry! It's just maybe a day or two of movies, then.
You could do.
The only thing, if there's any movies you want me a part of, I can't do it before Wednesday.
Alrighty then.
I've got a midterm.
Director it is.
There we go. Here's a movie quote for you. There's why didn't you play normal sport like football? Yeah. Mom thought it was too dangerous. Yeah, nice choice.
But somebody asked, what?
That sounds very familiar. I know that line from somewhere.
We have 20 people in the chat room. And folks, if you're on the YouTubes and you'd like to chat, we are not seeing your comments. Come over to the link in the description for Geeky TV and come chat with us. It's very simple. All you do is type in whatever username you want, join chat, and you're ready to roll.
Oh, here he goes, Dad. Here's another quote from the same movie. I love this one. It's he goes, "They wouldn't let me play on the Pro Tour." He goes, "Oh, is it because you're black?"
Cash Black just says I saw Throw Mama at the movies, and then again recently. It's fun. It's fun stuff. I prefer DeVito's War of the Roses, though. War of the Roses is brilliant. Love that movie. That's probably my favorite DeVito movie, too, actually.
Shapes, assuming that's you, Cass.
I still have not seen Death to Smoochie.
Love Death
did not.
Smoochie.
I did not like Death to Smoochie. I respected it as a film. I just personally I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a great goddamn satire. And black comedy too.
I might like it now, but when I watched it when it first came out, it creeped the fuck out of me.
Well, yeah, you were
That's
probably
weird.
too young to be watching, to be honest.
Yeah, it was
Thing is
weird.
You know what movie I'm kind of in the mood for again, I haven't seen in a while, is Get Shorty.
Get Shorty. Wow, I haven't
Why?
seen that in a long time.
I was randomly
Actually, I
thought
think
of
that's one I have never seen before.
That's a good one.
Oh
Really,
my
it's a big one.
god.
Yeah.
And then, what was the one that's a sequel to that? It's called...
Oh, Be Cool.
something- Be Cool. We should do a double bill of those two.
Yes,
Oh.
we should, because I've actually never seen Be Cool.
I
direct
did not
sequel.
know that.
Yeah.
I may have
it's got
known
The
that at
Rock in
some
it.
point.
I heard you, Bluto. Yes, the answer to the movie was Happy Gilmore.
We'll have
God
to.
damn it, Haji.
Oh!
That'd be a fun,
God, I never knew that.
fun double bill for sure.
Yeah,
You're gonna kick Haji. Fuck
the lines continue. He goes, "Oh, is it because you're black?" He goes, "No, a damn alligator bit my hand off." I found
I'm gonna
a.
go pee. I'll be right back.
Speaking of things being moist in this chat now, I have found my picture for the night.
Oh no. Not heavy
Really?
breathing cat.
No,
Wait a minute. The hell? Oh god.
That looks like a cloister.
That
it is a
makes me
cloister.
moist.
That makes me moist. It's the moist lady on a cloister.
The moist lady.
You've never seen the moist lady? Oh my god.
Oh no, I've seen the moist lady. She's disturbing. Don't want to think of old ladies being moist.
No.
That is so funny.
Old wrinkly vaginas.
And Sean made himself laugh. For people, sadly, who are unaware of the "that makes me moist" lady, I'm gonna put it up anyway.
Sadly.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the moist lady.
That makes me moist. Actually, I picture her having a very soft grandmotherly voice, with just a little bit of spittle between, every other letter.
Pluto, why isn't it a blue
Moist.
waffle? Travis, that makes me dry.
Yes. Cash says moist lady looks like that old lady villain from Justice League. What? Merman says, I keep getting an urge to watch Species, but then it goes.
Talking about old lady voices, that reminds me of, I was at a restaurant the other night, and there was these
Cass is
two older
pausing
men.
because he's waiting for me to hijack his story. And
Yeah, pretty much. And then an alien came into the restaurant. But no, there was this old lady sitting with her husband and some other person they're dining with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such the typical older woman voice because it was like the whistly S's.
Oh, God.
I can't do it, but...
All right.
Trying not to giggle the whole time.
Well, and then anytime she had to clear her throat, it was like the loudest, most... She was like... It was
Wow.
like, it reminded me of the Family Guy clip, except it was for real. That was legitimately how she cleared her throat. And neither of the other two, didn't even faze them.
Wow.
Sherlock came to visit.
She would say something. Like,
So, yes. So getting back to Species for a second here,
I love that movie.
I've only actually seen the first one. I've never seen any of the sequels.
Species 2 is okay.
I'd like to watch the sequels at some point just to have seen them.
So,
The remaker says Species is pretty bad, honestly. Vermin says, yep, the remaker, I agree, but it has Giger stuff in it, and I love Giger's work. That was what blew me away about it, because prior to that, really the only movie we had with a lot of Giger stuff in it was the Alien movies. So for me, the exciting part about Species was just seeing all of this H.R. Giger stuff brought to life, and some of it is pretty striking. Like pretty very cool.
Bluto
Yes.
knows me way too well.
I was quite sure about Species, actually.
Mhm.
So, when
Yeah.
Species came out, I was, 14, 15? right? And so there's a new theater that opened up in Winnetka, California, called the Winnetka, and it was like 21 screens. It's one of the biggest theaters in Southern California, like the most screens or ever.
Yeah.
So we went there for the opening day for Species, and at 14 walked up, said we want 2 tickets for Species. They gave us tickets and we walked in and watched Species at 14 with no parental supervision.
Really?
And then when my friend's mom found out, because I was staying at my friend's house, who lived not down the street from the theater, found out we saw Species. She was livid. Called my mom, and mom's like, so? Who cares that he saw it? It's a radar movie. Brandon did. What did the movie had? It had nudity and sex and violence. Mom's like, it's not that bad. What's wrong? And then her and my mom got into a fight about whether it was okay. My son's been watching horror movies since he was 8. I think he's okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you had a problem with that because your son's been watching horror movies at my house too.
I've been corrupting your son for years. I thought you knew.
I saw Species 2 also that way.
Really?
Yep.
When Cass was telling the story, all you had to say, when he was talking about the old lady who whistles with her S's, all you had to say was, "I'm Dan Rather," and then exactly what you're talking about.
So I saw Species 2 at a sneak peek screening actually.
Oh, really?
Came out. Yeah.
I didn't actually even know the
theater.
second one came out in theaters. I thought they were all direct to video.
Well, so to get a rating, you have to have appear on one screen for at least 24 hours, okay?
Gotcha.
So that was what they had. It was a sneak preview. It was like where all the reviewers went, but my friend's mom got tickets. And went, and we saw Species 2. I was a little bit older, and I guess they were okay then. But
okay. His overly sheltering mom had calmed down by then.
Yep.
Speaking of Giger-inspired stuff, I started reading this today for the first time ever.
Yay! It's good stuff, huh?
Basically, this is the original 6-issue miniseries, for those who didn't see in the other things, in the original black and white. And this is the original unaltered version with Nix and Hoot, yes, as Nix and Hoot. They've not been changed to Willie and Bilks. So basically, I've read the equivalent of the first issue thus far, and I have to say already, way better continuation of the story than Alien 3 and 4. Yeah, so it actually starts off right here.
That was uncomfortable.
10 years later.
Yep.
It takes place 10 years after the second movie. And
it's fucking epic.
And it's amazing. Good. It's fantastic. Right? So the artwork is just gorgeous. And the story is really, like, there's a lot going on in that story, and it's great. It makes it's just it's the sequel story you've always wanted from the end of Aliens, I
thought they did a pretty good job coloring that one. I didn't think it didn't hurt the art that much. A lot of people complained about it, but really it looks good still.
Well, I might pick up a colorized version if it's the original unaltered version.
Right.
But at the very least, I wanted at least one edition that had the original black and white, just so I could experience it that way, the way it originally appeared. And I mean the black and white artwork is gorgeous. I mean, it's just loaded with detail, and really, really well done.
Cash Black says that he remembers thinking Species seemed like a more mainstream version of The Hidden.
Only in the basic levels, though. That's it.
I've been meaning to get The Hidden on some home video format forever, and I keep forgetting. I remember really enjoying that one. That was what I primarily knew Kyle MacLachlan from for the longest time, actually. That and Dune. And then, I was a fan of his work then. I just thought he was a really, good actor. And then Twin Peaks came along. I was like, oh yeah, fan for life. Yeah, his character of Special Agent Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks is just unforgettable. Unforgettable character.
So, I was going to type this out, but I decided I'm just going to tell it. Funny story about Species. There's a scene in which the main antagonist, the male Sil, if you will, ends up going back to a hotel room with his chick, and then that chick's sister comes out of the bathroom, and the chick goes, "I share everything with my sister." And I thought that was, and at 13, I was like, "That's ridiculous," or 14, or like, "That's ridiculous. That never happens." And then it happened to me a year later. But I was like.
Oh, so this is what they mean by porn skewing your view of the real world.
Yeah.
And then it happened. Like, okay, not that skewed after all.
All right, it happened.
It's happening.
So I saw something in there. Oh yeah, Cash just said, I love the Alien 3 assembly cut. Prefer it to Aliens. I wouldn't say I prefer it to Aliens, but I definitely prefer the assembly cut of Alien 3 versus the theatrical cut. I think it's... to me, what would make the assembly cut perfect is if they put the dog back in instead of the yak carcass. So if they put the dog scenes into the assembly cut, then I think the assembly cut would be like the perfect version of that movie. So I think it makes more sense for it to be, gestated from a dog, just because it's so agile.
Well, that's where the theory that the alien xenomorph takes its shape, gets suggestions of its shape from the species it inhabits. That's where that was first brought through.
Yeah. No, and I kind of like that idea because it's it opens up possibilities for different types of aliens, and you saw a lot of that explored more fully with the toy line. We had different aliens that were clearly based on different animals and stuff like that, so it was pretty cool.
Vermin, I think that's just one of those weird placeholder people on Amazon. He's asking, is Amazon overpricing things again?
No.
Where he found the H.R. Geiger Necronomicon edition paperback for €1,417 and the hardback for €42.
Really?
No. The thing is, the Necronomicon paperback edition, I'm pretty sure is like signed, but it's still not worth $1,000. That's the independent seller doing it. But here's the way Amazon works: if, say, someone buys a copy of that for $500, and Amazon is down to one copy, it will price their one copy at the price in which the highest costing one sold for. So if I buy a DVD from, say, King Kong, the 2 edition of the 2005 movie, right, and some jackass bought it for $25 from the Amazon store, and it goes for $7 home, but they're down to one copy, it will auto-price the one copy at $25 until they restock. And they do that until someone manually changes it, which happens often. But
that doesn't explain the complete Earthbound box going for like $99,000 on fucking Amazon.
Well, that's probably a seller that's doing it, an authorized Amazon seller, which will show up as a normal Amazon item that you buy. But if you look, it says fulfilled, or it's offered by blank, fulfilled by Amazon. That's what it'll say. So that's why you still get an Amazon buy button instead of having to do it in the marketplace. That's bullshit still, but Matt, I think it's time for a shot. What do you think?
I could do that. I gotta go get my bourbon.
All right, go do that.
Doesn't fulfilled by Amazon mean also that they've already sent the item to Amazon?
Yeah, that means they sent the item to Amazon, and Amazon's fulfilling the shipping. Yes.
Got it.
The price isn't set by Amazon; it's still set by the seller.
Yeah.
It's just fulfilled by them.
Yeah.
So there's some issues in Amazon's algorithm, but it works for them, and they haven't had a reason to change it. So.
I decided just out of curiosity to go look at Earthbound, brand new, factory sealed.
Screen share.
$6 grand.
$6 factory sealed. That's actually not that far off.
No, that is ridiculous. That is overly ridiculous.
For a factory sealed mint condition, would be a couple grand for Earthbound. Absolutely, like $1-2 grand. So $6 is not that far off. But you can notice someone has it for $1,000.
They didn't make a whole lot of those. That's the thing.
It's at the very end of the life cycle.
That fucking game with that big
Also,
ass
I know you're gonna
box.
go here. You're gonna go look here at video game on eBay, but eBay is not the market value. eBay is always under market value.
No, No, I'm not going to go after market value. I'm going to go what they're actually selling for. Brand new.
That's below market value because people don't
I'm
pay
just-
market value for something on eBay.
For me,
That's the
I
point.
base solely my numbers on what they're actually selling for.
Type in sealed. Earthbound sealed. That easy.
Here we are. So this, I'd just like to read a little something to you here. This is from an article that Cracked put out
0.
a few, I don't know, a week or so ago. So I'd just like to read a bit of this to you here. This is 5 terrifying uses of sexual symbolism in horror films. I'm only going to read
completed listings at the bottom under show only. Sorry.
I'm only going to read the first one here. Sex and film go together like sex and dressing rooms or sex and portable toilets. And a lot of times it's pretty awesome, like in the cinematic tour de force that is Joanna Angel's entire career. But other times it becomes weird, like in Lars von Trier's Antichrist or Howard the Duck. But there's something even more insidious than a Willem Dafoe BJ on a scary tree or Leah Thompson fucking a duck. And that's the subtle and generally less than subtle symbolism that filmmakers will toss into movies that aren't even about sex. Sexual imagery is amazing at eliciting a physical and emotional response from a viewer, one that probably mixes arousal and revulsion. Why revulsion? Because penises and vaginas have very clear and defined roles in our lives. And when you start making them do other things, symbolically, shit gets weird. Trust me, I'm an internet comedy writer. I know what I'm talking about. Number 5, aliens. The most infamous example of sexual imagery run amok is the result of disturbing artist H.R. Giger and director Ridley Scott. The entire Alien franchise is nothing but dicks and butts and vaginas that want to hump you into oblivion. It's not enough that it's sexual imagery that wants to hurt you so bad you feel like you're watching Prometheus. Oh, don't like that line. But carrying on. We've told you before about how the aliens are just giant penises with even smaller penises in their constantly ejaculating mouths, and how the chambers in the alien pilot vessels are all accessed through giant vaginas. But if you try to actually add up all the imagery in just one alien movie, you'll be up to your neck in labia and foreskins before the 3rd act. Look at the face hugger. It's an ass with a vagina on the bottom and penis fingers. The vagina is actually at the end of a penis that gets forced down your throat once the penis fingers hug your head and squeeze its butt body all tight against you. It then proceeds to peen-vag your throat so hard that you end up with a baby penis-headed monster inside you that explodes its own birth canal out of your chest.
Sorry, I could not.
The alien queen has a giant vag chute that deposits gross eggs everywhere, each one a big green seed pod with huge labia on top. Whenever someone gets close enough to stimulate them, the labia spread wide open. The queen's tail is a massive dong that rips Bishop in half through the process of penetrating him. He gets fucked right in half. The entire franchise is built on a foundation of sexual terror, the fear of being violated by the other, by something different from oneself in a violent and uncontrolled way. The aliens are a semi-organized and inexplicably intelligent species of interstellar rapists that will violate you to death and actually use your violation to fuel the cycle by producing another of their kind from your pain. As Alien 3 made abundantly clear with the alien dog hybrid, the alien offspring is partially born of the genetics of its host animal, meaning your little rapist baby is literally genetically a part of you. You're not just victimized once, you're forced to partake in the victimization of another generation of victims. That's even worse. And there you go.
That's one way to put it.
I loved its description of the face hugger.
That's a bit simplified. But
I love your reaction.
Oh, there's a whole...
fucked in half.
Eric, last time it sold was $700 in February of last year, sealed.
Yeah, sealed ones, any games, sealed doesn't go around all that often. Because SNES in particular,
Thank you, cracked.com.
The most common one is F-Zero, actually.
Yeah. I don't know why, but...
I also liked Prometheus a lot, the remaker, yes.
the reason why it's zero Player's Choice Edition, specifically sealed, is so easy to find is because it was the Player's Choice was released in large numbers at the end of the life cycle of the system. So people are usually getting rid of their games at that point. Yeah, I like where that person's heading with the information on the aliens. They need to dig deeper.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say they actually did do a whole article just about Alien. That's just a piece of one of their top 5 lists they did recently.
Gotcha. But I mean, that whole sexual thing's very overt. That's what I mean.
The complete article, like the full Alien article, is called Alien, a film franchise based entirely on rape.
Well, yes, actually.
I can't wait to hear somebody say, "Oh, you're taking it too seriously. You're digging
looking
too deep."
Except that's not deep enough.
You're not looking deep enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Dicks, everywhere dicks.
Because that's where I'm like, okay, that's great. Now actually dig deep and kind of examine it now. That's all very overt and on the surface. A great observation, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But,
great observation. Everything is penises and vaginas.
Would you like me to read the other article? It's
no, you can just link it. You can drop it in the chat room here. Anyone else can just open it up themselves.
Well, yeah, I can do that, but I enjoy reading to everyone. It's fun. It gives me pleasure.
You should just read articles and post them as YouTube videos.
I could do that. Okay.
Hold on, Matt. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What are we shooting to?
Giving birth to a demon.
Giving birth to a demon.
Have your asshole.
Which is what we do every morning. Cheers.
Some demons are looser than others.
Oh.
Okay.
I love you.
Well.
Oh, daddy.
Well, let's see how deep this one goes here. It's actually a fairly short article. Alien, a film franchise based entirely on rape. Horror isn't complicated. You find out what makes your audience uncomfortable and present it to them in the most unsettling way possible. This is why horror movies... Holy crap. Sorry. This is why horror movies aimed at young males contain vague allusions to homosexuality. It's what makes that audience nervous. So if you have a country scared that communists are secretly infiltrating society, you give them 1956's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you have a nation coming off a recession and spiraling violent crime rates in 1980, you give them Friday the 13th. Which brings us to the rape. But Alien, it's all about rape. Okay, it's a comedy article, for God's sake. Don't take everything seriously.
Continue. I have to take everything seriously. Good job.
Yeah, we're not joking. Our goal isn't to paste a bunch of out-of-context shots or lines of dialogue to make some spurious case. We'll let Alien screenwriter Dan O'Bannon spell it out himself. Quote, one thing that people are all disturbed about is sex. I said, that's how I'm going to attack the audience. I'm going to attack them sexually. And I'm not going to go after the women in the audience. I'm going to attack the men. I'm going to put in every image I can think of to make the men in the audience cross their legs. Homosexual, oral rape, birth, the thing lays its eggs down your throat, the whole number. End quote. Hearing this man utter the words, I'm going to attack them sexually, is more terrifying than all the Alien movies combined.
Dan O'Bannon, I love him, by the way. Dan O'Bannon was the fucking god amongst men.
Absolutely. That's from the Alien Saga documentary that's on the DVD and Blu-ray sets. At the time, O'Bannon was coming off Dark Star, a comedy directed by horror luminary John Carpenter. Dark Star wound up being a big disaster, as big a disaster as a Boy Scout selling candy in a village of werewolves. So for revenge, O'Bannon vowed to make a movie that would allow him to rape movie-going audiences right under their noses.
Literally, right in their mouth. It's underneath their noses. Oh, dun-dun-tis.
Alien fans already know that the creature was designed by Swiss artist H.R. Giger. O'Bannon had worked with Giger on a failed attempt at a pre-David Lynch version of a Dune movie. I've seen some of the artwork from that. It was pretty fucking awesome. Giger's biomechanical, sexually explicit art had stuck with O'Bannon after the movie fell through, and the dark imagery helped fuel his revenge writing while conceiving the story of Alien. Once the movie was greenlit, O'Bannon suggested Giger to director Ridley Scott, and after seeing Giger's Necronomicon, a collection of art laced with sexual imagery, Scott decided that he had to have Giger design the titular alien. Left, Giger's Necronomicon. Right, Giger's alien. Left and right, dicks aplenty.
Dicks.
At that point, Scott was 100% on board with O'Bannon's man-rape agenda. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Bringing Giger on board turned out to be the decision that shaped the entire movie, that itself spawned a franchise and some of the most recognizable images in all of film history. Giger designed the alien, the derelict ship and its captain, and the alien landscape, and every last bit of it is loaded with galactic penises and space vaginas. Subtle.
Not.
Wait. Yep.
Pictured space vaginas.
Yes. Pretty much.
None of the sexual imagery in Alien is unintentional. For example, if the picture above the human crew members are invading in the... Excuse me. For example, in the picture above, the human crew members are invading the alien ship. So in effect, those are man-sized sperm crawling through it. From here, John Hurt's character Kane plumbs the depths of the ship's womb to find an endless landscape of eggs, which, if you are paying attention to the whole sperm analogy, makes a whole lot of biological sense. He comes into contact with one of the eggs, which opens up and births a little alien. So at this point, Ridley Scott is essentially smashing his audience in the face with a sex ed textbook. The alien bursts out, attaches itself to Kane's face, and rams its space wiener down his throat, while simultaneously choking him in a display of man rape so obvious we're surprised the critter isn't shouting at him to squeal like a pig.
Oh my god. Makes me moist.
Well, if you look at the two, the very phallic and the vaginal at the same time. It's crazy.
The alien's life cycle is modeled after that of many parasitic wasps. The inside of the facehugger is a vagina and a penis joined in a Super Friends-esque team up to force its seed down the throat of its victim. The caption reads, "Peen-gina." It only gets worse from here. So let's push it further. We learn that once the alien is attached, it can't be stopped before its load is deposited or it will kill its victim, which you may notice is the word-for-word agenda of a violent rapist. Kane is literally held down and mouth-boned by an alien bug dick for about 20 minutes of the movie. And then comes the unwanted pregnancy with the rapist's baby, complete with morning sickness. Admittedly, the guys in the audience get off a little easy. Gestation of a normal human takes 9 months and involves a lot of bloating, puking, and hormonal surges that generally make women miserable. But Kane's man pregnancy results in a sore throat and the need to eat spaghetti. Note the sore throat comes as a result of an alien wang having been forced down his throat, which he fortunately does not remember. The birth, on the other hand, is another story. The filmmakers purposely went out of their way to present the birth of the alien as violently as possible. This was as much a symbolic representation of men's typically ignorant ideas about pregnancy and birth as it was about scaring the living shit out of everyone. The event is explosive, bloody, and painful, utterly ruining the body it came from. Oh, and look at that. The alien is a dick.
Well, and a parasite shape, so it's kind of they blend very well together.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Yep.
Again, it's no accident that the newborn looks like a penis that's erected its way out of a man's chest. Some people have even speculated that it is the male version of vagina dentata. By the way, dicks, everywhere dicks. Their ship. I'll just cough so you can see it. There's a ship of penises. And the caption says, and people say we overdo it with the dicks. The adult alien's head. Basically a giant penis with another penis hanging off the back of it.
Ben Christian just said, "Hey Sean, this is fucking weird." Oh, poor Ben. He feels unsettled by all the rape and dick and vaginas.
With a toothy erection that penetrates the victims.
It's a dick within a dick. It's like, yo, bro, yo, dog.
Yo, dog, I heard you like dicks.
Like dicks. So we got a creature that has a head, shaped like a dick, that has a dick that comes out for a tongue, and has dicks on its back, and dicks for fingers, and a dick for a tail. So you can dick while you get dicked when you're dicking a dick.
That's right. Even the evil android tries to kill Ripley by doing this. That's the World magazine, by the way, in case you were wondering what it is. In the sequel, James Cameron switched things up by giving the facehugger an even more overtly vagina-like appearance. But make no mistake, there's still plenty of male penetration. Obviously, we're not the first ones to notice this. Quite a bit of analysis has been done over the years about Alien and its representation of sex. People have suggested everything from the alien being a representation of the id to a metaphor for women's refusal to bear children. The imagery doesn't just end with the overwhelming cavalcade of boners hidden in plain sight and various acts of forced penetration. There are even some mild references to failed birth control.
Keep this all in mind that Carl Jung's bullshit theories don't hold any weight anymore in psychology. Just heads up.
He found this in the garbage with a bunch of airplane bottles of vodka. The entire series continues on with this thread, with each episode focusing around the strong female lead of Ripley, while all the men get raped and murdered by the aliens. The series is credited for creating the first real female action hero in Sigourney Weaver's Ripley, though ironically she was changed from a man in a rewrite of the script just to make things more interesting. The only other woman in the original movie is a blubbering mess that gets raped to death off-screen by the alien's tail. All of this is a perfect and incredibly unsettling example of why people like us, meaning Cracked.com, spend time dissecting pop culture. It's not just about saying the alien's head is shaped like a dong, lol. It's realizing that the alien's head is shaped like a dick for a reason. To quote O'Bannon, quote, "This movie is about interspecies rape. That's scary because it hits all of our buttons." Much like Alf.
Interestingly enough, actually, the alien is also a hermaphrodite. So if an alien drone is left alone, it will actually spontaneously become a queen.
Well, there you go.
And that's scary as fuck.
Says, people make fun of geeks for noticing things like this, but it pays to notice all of the ways that Hollywood and advertisers and politicians, etc., push those subconscious buttons O'Bannon is talking about. They do that shit on purpose. Because it works. And the final quote here, "I'm going to attack them sexually, and they're going to pay me money to do it." There you go. So, Ben, you came in at just the right time. This is part of our celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Alien franchise. Also celebrating, I started reading the Aliens comic books from Dark Horse today. Having never read them before, I've been meaning to for years, and thought this was a good year to jump in.
I basically just, I went ape shit in the chat because someone said, "Dickception." I'm like, fuck you. Deception does not mean something besides something. Fuck you, Internet.
Yeah. Let me use this term correctly for you people. I have been irritated by that statement since its inception.
Exactly.
True. Yeah, the only time that word is used in that way is in that movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had an irritation within an irritation.
Some logic.
That's right.
Movie.
Cass Ding.
Which I've covered in the past. So,
yeah. The remaker says the newborn from Alien Resurrection was supposed to have a vagina with a penis coming out of it, but they cut that part out.
I bet that's too graphic for modern day audiences.
Well, it's too blatant too. I mean, the beautiful thing about all the imagery in there is it's recognizable if you're looking for it, but if you're not looking for it, you don't really notice it on a conscious level as much.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's the wonderful thing about Geeker's work, is it's subversive like that.
I do want to point out in the chat when you're talking to things, someone mentioned that in the dark, Metal Madness here looks like Hugo Weaving, and I said in the chat that Metal Madness is Hugo Weaving's stunt double. So.
There you go,
Mr. Anderson.
I have to pee.
Alrighty, have a glorious pee. Try not to get fucked to death.
Well, that whole time you were reading that
alien dick thing, I just had this picture of the.
Oh God. It
It's
makes me moist.
It makes me moist, and my head looks like it's coming out of a vagina. Yes, the very nerdy third reference to that picture is that is the very moist and juicy vagina-like Pokemon called Cloyster. So yeah, there's many jokes.
Excuse me.
And that's it. Good night, everybody.
Actually, I think I'm gonna bone out early tonight.
What?
You
What?
boner.
You popped a
What?
boner early tonight? What?
Yeah.
What?
Plat?
What?
Yeah.
Plat?
Few more days,
What?
guys.
Plat?
What?
Ah. We missed you for the grand finale last night there, Tank.
Yeah, I know. I was at the shop.
We all karaoke'd the shit out of the theme song for the final episode. It was epic.
I did join in the just to hear you guys all karaokeing. You're all like waving your hands, going,
Oh,
"Go!"
man.
It was awesome. We ended at the perfect time the night before because it turns out the last 5 episodes were all one big epic continuing story to like wrap up the whole series.
Yep.
It was like
Nice.
an epic 5-parter.
And we were rushing to finish.
We were just like powering through them.
I had to pee the entire fucking time, so as soon as it ended, I went pee and I found out how to poop too. So I was like, ah.
Yeah, basically, as soon as it ends, Stout runs off because he has to take a massive shit.
The whole
So
time.
He disappears. And then I'm like, where'd Stout go? And Skin Slim was just like, oh, he had to go shit. And then suddenly he goes like, oh, and then, hello. He just disappears. Apparently he ran off to shit too.
No, you understand. I farted and I stood up. I had no idea it disconnected me from the thing. I apparently had hiccup in my internet. That's the reason why I left the hangout. But I literally just farted, and you saw me doing this. Farting, and I'm taking my headphones and setting them down as I'm getting up, you know, just to go pee or whatever.
I thought you just like ran off to
Now we can
emergency shit
officially
and
say Skin Slim farted himself off the internet.
he knocked himself off the internet. But, so I was like waiting to have like the the post-series discussion for like the last 15 minutes before we had to switch over to Movie Gangbang.
Like, where is everybody?
And like nobody was there. I'm like, well, I enjoyed it.
Oh, I really, really liked it. I just had to go pee really bad, which led to a pooping session.
I showed that episode to my mom.
Which one?
That one with the Go Lion Hunters.
Oh no!
Oh.
He was so offended. It was hilarious.
Which one was that again? Was that
the Go Lion Hunters? The ones where they're just at the very beginning,
Murdering
they
the
go on
whole
this
town.
massive murdering spree.
Oh, right,
Killing
yeah.
women and children and just breaking into people's houses and slicing them in half.
Did you tell her it was a kids show?
I told. Well, I didn't. I later told her. I go, you know this? She goes, oh, turn this on. This is disgusting. Can't believe you watched something. I go, Mom. This later became Voltron. What? I'm like, yeah. This later became the kid-friendly show I used to watch when I was 5.
Yeah.
Voltron. Yeah, Defender of the Universe.
Yeah.
Defender of my
love
wallet.
how you went and skimmed through the Voltron version of that episode just to see how they changed it.
I did it, yeah, while we were watching it. It
What
is
you're saying.
hilarious. It made no sense.
Instead of it being like mercenaries, killing everybody,
It was they called them like wizards.
they called them wizards. I thought it was witches or something.
Witches. They
No,
called
wait,
them
witches. Witches. That's what it was.
It was
They
witches.
were witches, and they were there
Scaring the
to
townspeople.
They were scaring everybody.
By setting them on fire and cutting them in half and chopping children's heads off.
Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious. Not much else. Surprisingly, not much else from that episode was really edited out.
No.
Because really, it's just that beginning scene, which is just absolutely horrific. Then the rest of the episode's kind of fine.
There's a couple others deaths later.
Yeah,
but
that they obviously edit out. But for the most part, minus the couple name changes, the story's the same.
Yeah.
And,
well, for the most part, that was the case. It was just the only time they would do like catastrophic changes is if it was like a major character that died and stuff. Like
when a major character is actually their brother, not them.
Yes, that was actually kind of serendipitous because, of course, Shirogane dies in the original version, and then his brother comes back later. So in the Voltron version, they had Sven just injured and taken away to some space hospital, and then he mysteriously shows up later
and just decides to stay as not rejoin Voltron, obviously.
Yeah, but his role was much more interesting, I thought, because he became like their sort of man on the inside, and with the twin. So he was like, I guess in the Goal Line version, he's like the twin brother with the twin princess. So it's like the two twins.
Exactly.
As the sort of commando spy team.
So,
which is pretty cool.
Speaking of farts, and if anyone's actually wondering why I fart so much and so loudly, it's called IBS, folks. It manifests itself in 3 ways: discomfort, in one of 3 ways: discomfort, gas, and epic shitting. And by epic shitting, all at once and lava with fierceness.
Like the meteor storm at the beginning.
And some people have more than one. I have 2. I have gas and the fierce shitting.
I have 2 also.
Meanwhile,
well, actually, I have gas in both directions.
Yeah, well, that does happen. I usually don't get gas one way. And then Metal over there is dealing with the same thing because of some antibiotics he took. Oh. And then he decided to counteract the antibiotics and give himself probiotics, which made him have the worst case of IBS I've heard in a long time.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
You gotta watch it with the
shitty nightmare.
If you have IBS, you really gotta watch it with the probiotics, because sometimes it can work a little too well.
Yeah. Well,
and it acts like fucking Drano.
Yeah, there was a war going on in my intestines for about 7 days.
Yeah, Matt here had heart attack symptoms from his gas.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's bad gas. You know?
They got trapped in my chest, and I couldn't sleep. I was on the verge of going to the hospital.
The only time that I ever couldn't sleep because of IBS is when I was literally farting so much under my blanket, it was like a fucking gas pocket, and just the stench was keeping me up.
Oh, you were stinking yourself away.
I was gassing myself for the next, 4 hours, just like...
The worst is you fart and you're like, oh, it wasn't too bad, and then you move, you're like, oh god,
I let it loose. I let it loose.
You think it has dissipated, but it hasn't. It's just waiting.
Oh,
I could pillow it right into your face.
Of course.
Ben Christian says, I saw the individual Doctor Who serials at Barnes & Noble today for $24.99 a piece, and realized how valuable your collection is.
Yeah.
Yes, they're typically they tend to be more expensive in stores. I bought all of mine online. A couple locally, but most of them I bought through reputable eBay sellers. And I paid maybe some of the more recent ones for maybe $20, $30, like the 2-disc sets and stuff. But most of them are between 10 and 15 typically online. Just the single disc regular releases. But yeah, it is quite an expensive collection to get the whole thing.
Spending gear buying only Doctor Who shit. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and it's still not done. I've got about 2/3 of it, so I still got to get the last third. So when I
to buy Godzilla though.
Yeah, I took a break. Well, and to buy just a lot of other stuff because I was like, damn it, I want other things. I love more than just Doctor Who, and there's a lot of other anniversaries going on this year, so. Decided to focus on those for a little bit, and then 1 month I'll just go and binge buy on Doctor Who and get that all finished.
The other problem is we stopped watching it, so.
Pardon?
We stopped watching it, so you're.
Well, there's not as much incentive to.
Yeah. Your need to buy them has decreased.
Yes, but when we'll be getting back into that soon. So, in some capacity, so we'll figure it out there. But. Yeah, actually, I haven't really got a ton left to get. Like, mostly, I've almost got all the 4th Doctor. I've got about half of the 5th Doctor. And then it's just the 6th and 7th, which are pretty small collections because they were the shortest run.
I'm burping bacon.
And I've got most of them already.
Bye.
Bye, Tank.
Tank.
Good night.
Gone.
God, Draven says, calling it right now. After credits scene of Godzilla 2014 will be a Matthew Broderick cameo. Lol.
No, there won't.
Just go sit in a corner.
You go to hell and you die.
That won't happen because Gareth Edwards has way too much respect for it.
It definitely looks promising from what we've seen.
My Guinness has a marble on it.
Well then.
Just thought I'd let you know.
Dear NASA, your mom said I was big enough. Love, Pluto.
Up below it. The reply by NASA, read that.
Yeah.
Dear Pluto, it's not your size, it's how you use it. You can't orbit your own moon and expect people to take you seriously. Love, NASA.
So yeah, 2 more days until the March PlayStation Plus freebies go live.
The what?
The March PlayStation Plus freebies go live in 2 days.
Oh.
So Sean, Blue has Torbeck has a Doctor Who joke for you. Why is McCoy afraid of McGann? Because McGann hurt Eccleston.
Ha! That's like, why is everyone afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I posted the actual song that played. This is going back to Go Line and Voltron real quick. I went back and I watched the Robot Chicken sketch where he did the dance off with one of the Beastmen.
That's actually on one of the Voltron sets.
Oh, it is?
They actually put it on there, yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's because I actually found Robot Chicken, by the way.
I found the lyrics to the original song that played. They have a new one now that literally is stupid. It doesn't make any sense to the song.
Yeah.
The original one was a custom-made song by DMX, and here's the lyrics, and it says, "Back again, it's a road beast digger, and my dog is bigger. Come to blast a trigger. School's in session, 'cause you're gonna get an education. Child in the bathroom with Allura doing masturbation." This is Bounce. Planet Doom put a hurt on a robot. Shame on a witch gave a spank to a robot. Kicking ducats and buckets with a ruckus for King Alfor. Never win a battle till you're pulling out your blazing sword.
Nice.
And that is awesome. I don't know why they pulled it and they used this new stupid song.
Yeah.
It's actually, this version's hard to find, the actual video.
Oh, really? Oh, what? So it's the same video but different song?
Yeah, when he sets down the boombox and starts playing, it's this new song that's just... It's another DMX song, and it matches the dance, but this one was special because it actually was a special rap about Voltron.
Well, yeah, totally.
So I will actually post the link to the music in the IRC here so people can listen to it if they so choose. Work it out on the floor.
Work it out on the floor.
So there's been a lot of speculation about the Muto creature in the new Godzilla film. Someone took a screenshot from the trailer that we all saw, and it's a fucking condor. And of course, the very first response of that was a picture of the flying claw, the googly eye and shit. I fucking died laughing when I saw that.
When I was in HMV, the staff there were talking about the new Godzilla movie, and a couple of them hadn't seen the new trailer, so they watched the trailer while I was there, and they were talking about it, and they said, okay, now I heard something. Did you see that thing that fell into the water right at the end of the trailer? Now, this is unsubstantiated. It's just pure fan speculation, but there is talk that it may have been Mothra.
The other thing was it was Rodan, but it's probably that giant condor.
Probably the giant condor, yeah.
Which is still cool, mind you.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being Mothra at this point. Like,
There's
maybe
definitely 2 giant insects, by the way.
there is other giant monsters in it.
Yes, but how big those insects are, I don't know. But they do. That's why there's one scene where you see like a weird claw shape, like smash into like
Well,
around some troops move. It's actually like a hook hand.
Was
like
it?
A mantis.
Is it Megagyrus, like a giant insect?
Megagyrus? Yes.
Or Megagyrus? I haven't seen
Everyone
it, so I don't know how it's pronounced.
I haven't seen it since it came out, so it's a decade ago.
Ah.
So, yeah, I don't remember how to say it either.
I want to have a Heisei Fest soon, now that I have all of them.
So we should do that.
Okay.
It doesn't require any, you have to acquire Return of Godzilla.
So we want to do, like, all 7 of them properly.
Yes. We can ignore the original movie since everyone's fucking seen it.
Yeah,
we'll watch it with the Heisei, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, we can do it.
I mean, we'll watch it with when we do the Showa ones.
Showa, that's what I meant. I meant Showa. You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know. I'm particularly eager to watch the Heisei and Millennium ones because I really haven't seen very many of them.
I need to acquire them again.
In fact, until I bought the stack of Godzilla DVDs, I had only ever seen Godzilla 1985 out of that whole run. And that was like 30 years ago.
Video. Godzilla. Go.
Godzilla.
I gotta... That's not... That's sort of by size, actually. Give me a giant size. Oh, Monster Kaiju pack. Look at that.
Cool.
Here's a complete...
So apparently, actually speaking of Godzilla, apparently a rumor floating around that some of the Heisei and Millennium era movies may be getting a Blu-ray release sometime this year.
Some of them are haphazardly formed together, too.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me, because at least the DVDs are in order.
There's 2 of the 3 Heisei that are getting quote-unquote re-released are back-to-back. It's Mothra and Mechagodzilla are back-to-back on the same release.
Right.
And it's like King Ghidorah and like fucking Godzilla versus Megagyrus or something. What?
It's like completely out of... Well, that's A, assuming the rumor is true, and B, assuming that the grouping is accurate.
If I were them, I would actually put one Heisei and one Millennium. And that way you could have them in order, and make them so that they're in order regardless of... So if you put the Heisei one next to you put them next to each other, and it's the Heisei ones are next to each other, and the Millennium ones are next to each other, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that haven't gotten any... GMK didn't get announced for release, none of that, so...
Yeah, it's kind of surprising on that one.
I would kill for Scream Factory to release GMK.
Like, I'm surprised that GMK wouldn't get the Blu-ray treatment out of all the series.
Yeah.
Considering it's such a fan favorite.
That's speculation that another company has the rights to it, that's why.
I'm just like, for the love of fuck, will someone please release Godzilla 1985? Please.
Rights issues.
What are the rights issues with that one specifically?
Well,
why is it that one and not any of the others?
Okay, here's the convoluted issue. New Horizons video, or the ones who released it in America, that was post Corman selling it off. So it was owned by this other company. When they got the rights to Godzilla 85, they got the rights for the Japanese release, for the Japanese movie to be released in America.
Okay.
Also, so you can't release it unless you get both, but you can't get both without also getting the rights from Toho, and Toho wants money, and New Concord wants money. New Horizons, I mean, wants money.
Okay.
And it's going to be a very expensive Blu-ray to cost-wise. So I don't think any company thinks it's going to be effective to release it. I think that's the problem.
If there's any time when it's going to be cost-effective, it's going to be right fucking now.
I know.
60th anniversary blockbuster movie on the horizon. Do it now. Right now. Because any other time will not, like, this period of extreme relevance is not going to happen again for a while.
I think it would be really cool if, like, Shout Factory did a box set and released a few of the films, including 85, GMK, Godzilla 2000, you know, with the ones that aren't being released by Sony, and did an amazing set. Because Shout Factory or Scream Factory could do either of those, and they'd be appropriate, you know.
No, I'm not all right, Rob. I'm deathly ill. I've been fighting an illness for the past 4 days.
He's deathly ill.
Actually, probably about 5 days.
Closer to 5 days, yeah.
I actually took a couple days off work. Basically, I caught whatever Rosie had when she was here last week. So she's actually just getting over it.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 19 viewers in the chat.
Right there.
Awesome.
But anyway, so while I was taking care of her, I ended up catching what she had. There it is. And I've been
that came a little extra.
Trying to get over it for a while.
So, how many viewers does Google Hangouts say we have?
Google Hangouts says... Survey says 33. 33.
Oh.
I just typed in the chat.
We got a lot in the chat.
10 of you guys need to come to the chat room. Come on, people.
Yeah, come on into the, you'll find the link in the description there. It's the geeky.com/geekytv link. And that'll take you to the live IRC chat. And you can still watch the video there, too. The video is on the same page. So everything is together. Here, well, I can't really show you because I don't have the video running on mine. But anyway, basically what you'll see is something like this. You'll see the video screen there. And then below that is the chat. And the chat is all real time. All you need is, you don't need any plugins or anything. It's all done through the web.
Did anyone else have them turn into a circle as you did that?
No, not me.
Okay. I was just asking. It won't matter. You won't turn a circle into during the broadcast unless you turn
No, the broadcast stays, yeah.
I just thought it was funny. It's usually like, look at this! And I'm like, he's a circle. That's fucking awesome.
I just put in the chat. But I think they should go back to Go Lion, and when they destroy the beast at the end, Shorty should go, "Who's laughing now, biatch? Huh? Huh?" Every time they destroy a road beast. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So Bluto said, Criterion should do for Godzilla what they did for Zatoichi. Well, here's the problem with that. Halls. There are rights issues. Sony owns the American distribution rights for the name Godzilla. So, then you have to go to Toho and get the the rights from Toho to release it in America. Then you got to pay Sony a little fee for using the word name Godzilla, and then then you can do your release. The problem is so many companies already have divvied up that pie.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we've got a Blu-ray of Violante, and that's why we've got DVDs from one company, DVDs from another company.
Yeah. So. Sony owns the vast majority of them. Like most of the releases are Sony releases, but there are a few that are other companies. So it would definitely be a clusterfuck of licensing.
D-Large, you lurking bastard.
Hey, Duncan.
Duncan's been lurking this whole time?
Yeah. He just sued me.
Here, look at my ceiling while I pick my nose.
The thing about, Zatoichi was all owned by, I want to say, Daiei, maybe it was Toei. They're the ones who owned that, so it was easier to license the entire series. And on top of it, I don't think, they didn't get the TV series and they didn't get the two other films. They didn't get the 1990s sequel film by Shintaro Katsu, and they didn't get the remake by Takeshi Miike. So even the Zatoichi box set is
it's missing a couple.
Is missing stuff, yeah. Oh yeah, Criterion should do release Cinema Paradiso. I agree.
Oh, Duncan says he finally woke up.
Oh sure, Duncan, sure. Go
Whatever.
Get your tea. Shut up.
Oh. Oh, yeah, it's because I have the DVR. Well, much like live stream, I had the DVR feature. Live Hangouts has that as well.
Yeah.
Ben says when you click on the link to Geeky Feed, it doesn't take you live. It takes you to the beginning. Oh, that
live when I do that, actually.
Weird. It says confused me at first as the comments weren't in sync with the video. In order to go live, I had to drag the meter all the way to the right.
You could also click on the button, the word live in the thing, and it'll take you right to the live too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. But I don't know what's up with you, Ben, because mine starts and goes right to live.
Weird.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was a glitch.
Maybe
there's a plugin that Ben has, or maybe it's the browser he's using. I don't know.
Who knows?
No idea.
But much like live stream, I mean, it's nice to have the DVR feature so people can catch up and skim.
Watch it later if necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's the ticket.
Are we still staring at your ceiling?
Oh.
Okay.
Hi.
I
How's
didn't
it
know
going?
if you were still picking your nose or not. So.
No, I got all the boogers out. All the
And then I was also
slimy
making
mucus.
sure. I was also making sure that my thumbnail hadn't frozen.
Pulled all the big, long worms of rubbery mucus out of my lungs. Through my nasal cavity.
Yeah, it might be your cache, Ben. It could be a lot of things. It's also just been a glitch by YouTube. Happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Who
Bluto
knows?
said Sean's ceiling is so compelling it should be shown in film school.
That ceiling has depth. It has subtext.
It has
symbolism
texture, actually.
and commentary.
Look at the texture and the shading.
Texture, yes.
Because it's got bumps. You get it? You get it? You get it? Sorry.
Oh. I love halls. The magical healing power of mentholyptus. Actually,
I know, right? I always get the sugar-free kind now because, oh my god, they just have so much sugar in those.
well, that's true. You can eat them like candy. Eat them like candy and just breathe easy all the time.
Huh.
Breathe easy. Breathe icy.
Have a hard time breathing.
Have a hard time derping?
I was going to say, you go from having a hard time breathing to breathing easy, breathing icy, then eating too many and having a hard time breathing.
Anaphylactic
Where every
shock.
time, every time you inhale, it's like inhaling like 20 below fucking wind.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. I love that feeling.
It makes me gag, actually.
Really?
I love the cool feeling personally, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. I love like a brisk, cold air, but out here when it got like it was like -10 and stuff like that.
It is
you
now.
cannot-
Yeah.
Breath.
You just you breathe in and you just go.
It's too cold. It's too sharp.
It's
yeah,
too
yeah.
hard and it's sharp and it just makes you gag. And cough.
The wind sharts in your mouth. You're like, oh ha, there.
Duncan is fine. He needs tea and bacon. Was that a
I
reference
saw the most
to?
amazing thing at Walmart today.
Was that a reference to Wolf?
What?
I can
I'm
make you some
confused.
breakfast, like maybe some hash browns and toast and bacon.
That's kind of like my specialty in anyway. Anyway, though, I standing in the checkout aisle. So I looked over, and you know the whole last minute pickups, all the candy and the beef jerky and stuff
Absolutely.
like that. That's all right there.
Handfuls of candy bars. Yes.
Yes, I saw bacon jerky.
Oh, I've had that. I ate that on
Oh.
stream about 6 months ago.
Bacon
tastes-
jerky.
It tastes exactly like bacon because it's bacon. Just so you know.
That's awesome.
All it is-
Right next to it was pork jerky. Then there was bacon jerky.
Hmm.
I'm sitting there going, how do you make bacon into jerky?
Well, they did it.
Bacon.
They did it! Yay!
Yes, it isn't bacon jerky, just bacon.
Specially treated bacon.
Specially treated.
Bluto said turkey jerky is amazing. Yeah, venison jerky is the best, though. It's literally succulent.
I almost got some jerky today.
Bacon jerky tastes like chicken.
Or was that yesterday? I can't remember. Might have been today. I dislike being ill. It is annoying.
I just like you being ill too. You cough in my fucking ears.
Sorry.
I also hate being ill. You know.
Yes. Yes.
You be alright there, Sean?
No.
I'm gonna die a horrible death.
That's right. You'd die in a puddle of my own vapor rub.
In halls.
Just
Magic
puddles of
bacon
vapor
ride.
rub.
Your vapor rub
Shit.
all over my body.
So Sean, I
Huh?
will send you a link in the CRAM chat
Okay.
for the torrent that I think we should use
For
our viewings.
of the Godzilla
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Well, I have most of them.
Most of them, but
now.
not all. That's
There's
what I'm
just a
saying.
couple. There's just a couple that I'm missing because they're out of print and stupidly expensive.
Yep. Also, the Sony releases only have American cuts, and these are all the Japanese cuts too. So,
Really?
yes, you might want to also pick them up just to have both.
This is like fan subs.
No, they're official international subs, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I know Toho does stuff like that. Why the fuck don't we get them over here? We're international.
Because it's up to the distributor to apply the subtitles.
The other thing is, I noticed a couple of the Heisei films are full screen and not widescreen.
Yep.
Most of them are widescreen. There's like 2 that aren't. Kind of annoying. I don't mind if it's just the English dub, as long because I don't think they're cut, as far as I'm aware. It's just the English dub instead of the Japanese audio.
Correct.
It's not like the old days where they'd censor the shit out of them.
Dad, I just watched the end of the bacon popcorn tastes like bacon video. That night.
Oh, God.
Okay, where he literally takes a whole stick of butter that's lined with bacon and popcorn and just takes a big fucking bite. He's literally just nomming on a big chunk.
Oh,
of
is that
butter.
from that big ass set that Toho put out, the Japanese set? I'll take your silence as a yes.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure something out.
All right.
What were you saying?
I'd say, is that from that big Toho set that you showed me a little while ago in the Godzilla
No,
head?
those are all. That big set is is only DVD, and what I sent you are basically broadcast 720p's.
Really?
Yeah, those were the ones that came out before they started doing Blu-ray.
What the hell? You kicked Bluto.
Yeah, because he's being a dickhead.
Oh, okay.
He can come back if he wants.
Duncan says, I had a very strange dream. I was one of the Waltons, and the entire family was living in an airship. I had a secret, however. I was a time traveler and had the DeLorean from Back to the Future hidden in the airship.
Awesome.
Awesome.
No, Blue doesn't get to talk.
Aw, Vermin says, I've hardly slept all night. I was nodding off, then got a message from one of my exes, so spent ages chatting to her because she was down. Joy!
You should just learn to not bother with that.
Yes, we're not together anymore, so yeah.
You get to go somewhere else.
Find another shoulder to cry on. Ha ha!
Unless you're going to put out. And then we can talk after the sex, though.
That's right. Sex first, talk after.
That's right. I'll listen to you all night long if you give me a blowjob. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
That's a little sexist, but you know.
What is that?
Well, I don't. Well, I don't know why people send me messages about their technical problems. Like, I cannot fix your computer. It's not my fault if the stream is fucking up for you.
Okay, they're still having problems with stream?
Somebody, well, just it was like an hour ago. Probably not even an issue anymore. He says, I've tried restarting it a few times. It's skipping in a loop. The part thus far, no response. So clearly the person is insane. This is repeating over and over again. I close my browser and it's still doing it when I come back. Anyone more technically advanced than I able to tell me what's going on with my machine here? Lol. And then he said it stopped.
Okay.
Does that mean the stream stopped or just the looping annoyingly stopped?
It was probably a buffer thing.
It was probably, yeah, just YouTube being a cock.
Yep.
That's the technical explanation for it, right?
But if someone were to say, "Oh, I'm having problems with the chat," something like that, that's why I asked what it was, because if it's something on our end, I might be able to fix it, because it might be something wrong with page, you know.
No, but if it's the YouTube stream, there's nothing we can do about it. Like it's just
it's just YouTube.
It's just YouTube being YouTube. Yeah, so Rob knows how to deal with that shit. Says, yeah, there were times when I just stopped watching live stream because it wouldn't stop glitching. My problem.
Yeah, I assume that YouTube has far less problems than live stream did. So, yeah, notice how we don't crash out every hour on the hour.
That's true.
And if you crashed out, it would give you a thing. Do you want to continue the stream? You either choose yes or no. You can even, if you had to reset, you could say continue stream, reset your whole computer and come back, and we would still be here live streaming for everyone else. So
yeah,
that's a bonus to the Hangouts on Air is you can have that option.
Well, the other thing I like is it doesn't tax my computer anywhere near as much as live stream did. Their producer program is such a system hog. It's ridiculous. It's very very inefficient.
Yeah, it's why it's like people are like. I'm trying to get interviews for the podcasts and for the shows and like that. Like, oh, can I use Skype? I'm like, I can't run Skype and a Google Hangout. My computer will shit the bed.
Yeah.
Skype is the same way as live produces. It's not even its memory. It's a CPU hog.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why would you use Skype and a Hangout? I mean, the Hangout will serve the same purpose.
Because they don't have a Google account and they want to make one. I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. Well, I guess.
We didn't want to make Google accounts either, but here's the thing: we use it just for the Hangouts. That's it.
Yeah.
It's worth it to have just for the Hangouts because there's so much you can do with them, especially the way that they're integrated into YouTube now. Like what we're doing now wouldn't have been possible like a couple years ago. So. Yeah.
This is cutting edge, man. This is great,
Yeah, no, it's this is
the one that has this Blip TV, and they fucking prioritize traffic, which is wrong.
No, I was gonna say this is the one good thing that's come out of the integration of Google into YouTube,
right?
Or Google Plus into YouTube specifically.
I don't like the fact that I had to merge my profiles, but whatever, I overcame that problem very easily.
Yeah, I don't even fully understand what exactly I did to make it work.
When you did it.
So.
Yeah. There's a Sean McClane and a Xanarnizer app. That's how you did it.
Yes.
You made a Xanarnizer app page. So you have to make sure you chose your Xanarnizer app page before you go to the Hangouts tab to open and start a Hangout.
Yep.
It's not even that bad of a system. I just wish they'd make it a little more streamlined. Where I could just click on the icon and it would just swap me.
Yeah. The one thing I hate is when I'm uploading a video.
Yeah.
And it logs me out in the middle of uploading the video. And I can't log in again on that screen because it'll cancel the upload. So it's pain. Yeah. So I log it the other day when I was uploading. I mean, one of the recent videos I uploaded. It did that. It says we cannot save your changes because it appears you logged out on another screen. It's like, no, I fucking didn't. Why would I do that? So I went on to all the other YouTube tabs I could, on the Google tabs, everything, logged out, logged in, logged out, logged in on all of them, and it still kept giving me that error message on the upload screen. It's like, okay, I've logged in on all the other YouTubes and Googles. Yeah. Why are you still shitting?
They have already stated that they're working on a sense thing, so if you're uploading a video, it won't log you out until your video's done uploading.
Good.
They're already talking about doing something like that. And if you're live on stream, it won't log you out until you're done. Yeah. If you're live on stream.
Yes.
They do that so that it's a security thing, so people can't hijack your profile, right?
Yeah, that's
and
great.
I get that, right? But it needs some internal system checking to make sure it doesn't do it during important shit.
Yeah, if you're in the middle of actively using a service, it shouldn't fucking log you out in the middle of it. Like that should not be something they're talking about. That should be something that was implemented like a fucking year ago. Like that should have been done by now.
Well, the sad thing is it's not as easy as we would think it would be, you know. And we're like, oh, it's easy, but almost never is.
I'm sure it's not easy, but I mean, they're fucking Google. They can hire the best programmers in the world. Make that shit happen, you know?
Yep.
Just hire people who know how to do it.
The problem is that most of the people on fucking Google Glass right now making that shit work.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is fine, whatever. Can we just get, like, 1 or 2 people to come look at this shit?
Yeah, how about you get the things that you've had running for several years working properly first, then focus on all the new bullshit that nobody cares about. Google Glass is so not going to happen.
I don't know. I'd buy a pair in a heartbeat, man. You kidding me?
I wouldn't bother with that shit. I think it's...
I'd get it with prescription, too, so I'd wear them all the time. I'd be in a hangout, eating Google. I'm like, hey, guys. Like, wow, I see your eyeball. I'm like, yep, Google Glass, motherfucker. It'd be awesome.
Hey, guys.
Yeah,
oh, my God,
That's exactly it, Duncan. He says the only issue I have with Google Plus and YouTube merger was that I now have 2 usernames under which I can use YouTube. Yeah, I find that really annoying and cumbersome.
Yeah.
And a lot of people... And it was so cryptic and so non-intuitive to make it work.
Yeah, it needs to be streamlined and simplified slightly. Better. I mean, I should say, not even slightly.
And like AdSense. Like, it used to be you'd click maybe 2 or 3 mouse clicks to get to your AdSense page and just take a look at your stats. Done. You know?
Yep. It's a pain in the ass.
And now it takes, I swear, it takes like 10 clicks to get there, and it is not an obvious path at all.
That's why I bookmarked right where it goes, and I just check all the information that takes me there.
I'm going to have to do that. Oh, Wormhead asks Z, do you have any film magazines? Sort of. I have a few. Like, I used to collect Starlog quite a bit. If you're wondering if I have stuff like Cinefex and Cinefantastique, maybe a couple issues. Honestly, I never really collected those very much.
I have one Cinefex magazine.
Yeah, I think I have a couple issues of Cinefantastique, and that's about it. But,
I have one Cinefantastique and Conan the Barbarian cover.
I think I have the Howard the Duck issue.
I have one issue of Cinefex magazine that is the retrospective issue for Phil Tippett.
Nice.
Where he does a very, very in-depth conversation about the day he walked into the Jurassic Park planning meeting and found out he didn't have a job really anymore because they were going CGI instead of stop motion.
Oh, right, yeah.
And like how he was talking about...
Actually, speaking of Godzilla, I'll show you something.
And then he walked away.
That I forgot. I will probably be reading quite thoroughly over the course of this year.
And so he was talking about, like, he walked in and he was like, oh, I lost my job. I'm done with the business. And Spielberg was like, well, actually, I want you to go. And then he gave him a new way of interpreting his own work into CGI, which was really cool.
From 1998. So this goes up to the 1998 American film. We have Japan's favorite manga star.
I don't even own that.
The Unauthorized Biography of the Big G. And it says in big print here, this book was not prepared, approved, licensed, or endorsed by any entity involved in creating or producing any Godzilla movie, including Toho Company Limited or TriStar Pictures. Awesome. But yeah, it's actually a pretty cool resource. So it covers everything up to the end of the Heisei era and the '98 film. And you know, they get little biographies about the various creators. And
I need to get that. I don't have that one. I have the Godzilla Compendium, which is another. It's like a $50 book actually.
This was one that I picked up completely by fluke. It was when I worked at Chapters about 10 years ago, and it was in their bargain books. So I was like, fuck yeah, big book about Godzilla, I'll grab that.
There's another good one called fuck, what is it called? There's another biography type book that you get both of those, and you got like pretty much a complete story of the making of Godzilla and all that stuff. And then there's a book called Godzilla on My Mind by William Tsutsui, and it's a fucking brilliant cultural look at Godzilla throughout the ages in various cultural forms other than movies.
Yeah.
About a guy who grew up with Godzilla on his mind, essentially. It's really good.
Oh,
really good.
Interesting.
Book. I read it last year while I was in Austin. In preparation for my Godzilla video and stuff, and then I never did that video.
Oh.
Because I left. Because I left in a hurry.
Yeah, I've got a few random magazines as well that go into a lot of Godzilla stuff. I've got I think it was Fear magazine, which is a very short-lived British horror magazine. Really good magazine. I actually really liked it. They would have articles about mostly horror-related, like movies and stuff like that, but also some sci-fi stuff. They'd have short stories from up-and-coming horror authors and things like that. It was really good.
What magazine?
It was just called Fear.
Oh, I know Fear. I don't have any issues of it.
It was pretty good. I've got.
They had a companion piece called Scream, also.
I've got I don't know, about 10 or so issues of it. I really liked it a lot. I remember they had some articles about Godzilla in there. There was one actually when Godzilla vs. Biollante was coming out. They had a big article about it, and that's where I first heard about it.
Yeah, there's a companion magazine called Scream, right? And I have the only issue I have them is they're talking about the Toho Dracula trilogy.
Interesting.
Toho did a trilogy of Dracula.
I got something else. I think it was a magazine just called Monsters, which had it was an all Godzilla issue, and it went into info about all the films up to that point. This would have been around the same time as that Fear issue, so it would have been just as the Heisei era was starting. So it might have had a couple films after Biollante at that point. I'm not sure exactly when I got it. But I'm going to see if I can dig those out of... they're in a box somewhere in one of my closets, so I'm going to see if I can dig some of those out and, do some kind of video about them.
One had said, I had Fangoria and Rumorg. Like, I used to read Fangoria, and then they sold out and were crap for a while. Apparently they're getting back to their roots, but I was more of a fan of Rumorg, and Horror Hound was my favorite magazine, actually. Horror Hound is done by fans for fans, and it's expensive, but has really nice glossy covers and pull-out posters and stuff. Really good magazine. It's still around. I have a comic box full of fucking magazines, and as soon as I get those up here, I'll do a video about it. So.
Yeah, I've got a lot.
I also have about 10 years of G-Fan magazines, actually.
I've got quite a lot of magazines as well. I just don't have the space right now to pull them all out and organize them and shelve them somewhere, but one day I shall. One day I shall. Comic Scene. Yeah, I've got some issues of Comic Scene as well.
I also I have a couple of comic fanzine magazines also. Action Heroes #1, featuring the Ninja Turtles on the cover. In fact.
I think I might have that same issue. I also have a fair number of articles or issues of Starlog. I used to read that pretty regularly. Really enjoyed it. It was before the internet. It was like my go-to resource for all things sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah.
And it really was invaluable back then because they had a lot of articles. They would have episode guides to stuff. I mean, you didn't get that kind of information anywhere else back then. And
as a DVD collector, I do film facts also.
Yeah.
Which basically tells you about all the releases around the world about your favorite movies. A lot of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror.
Right. Cool.
And Pegan.
Hmm? Pee again?
He's a peeing machine.
Peeing machine.
Peeing machine. Watch me
Not good.
Or not. What the fuck?
Occupied?
God, I hate having only one toilet in this fucking house.
No, occupied, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, of course. Every time I have to go really badly.
Occupied.
Hey! Sucks to be you. Oh, it sucks.
Actually, I was
to be
thinking
you.
more of the King of the Hill when he's the episode where he's constipated.
Oh, occupied! Occupied!
Like Peggy comes bursting in because she had a bad dream about him dying because of his constipation. So she goes running in to like give him a hug while he's on the toilet. Peggy, you're not supposed to see this.
Oh Lord.
When she finally leaves, she's like, "I love you, Hank," and he's like, "Get out!" and like throws a toilet roll at the door.
I'm supposed to tell the whole world about my narrow urethra.
It's horrifying.
That's the one he got.
He's just like riding around on the ride-on lawnmower for a while to try and loosen things up.
Oh Lord.
Or of course the one you love, Eric. Vagina!
Did you really have to say it out loud? The whole neighborhood heard you.
Ow.
My favorite
Cajun
is...
jazz, in case you're wondering. Good stuff.
I got some like cheddar popcorn.
Smart food.
Yeah, big bag. It's $3 at Walmart.
Be right back.
Another one I always loved, Eric, was the episode with the Boggle tournament.
Oh, yeah.
When Hank has to wear the name tag that says Mrs. Peggy Hill. Or Mr. Peggy Hill, rather.
Mr. Peggy Hill.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Peggy Hill.
And then he meets that one guy. It's like, well, hell, the Duke John Wayne's real first name was Marion. And then Hank's just like, you take that back.
Oh, really, Sean? Share with us some more, huh?
Share it with the world.
Yeah? Anybody?
Oh, I almost wet myself.
Well, okay then.
I really can't make any jokes right now or move once I'm going to the bathroom. So, yeah.
So, how about them mares?
They still suck. They still suck, and they're not going to win anything this year again. Don't get your goddamn hopes up.
Fuck you, they're winning already in spring training, and as we all know,
no, it's spring
They're actually
training.
playing
everything.
themselves.
Yeah. And even if they're
They're
playing
not-
against other people, no one's trying that hard at spring training because nobody wants to get hurt during spring training. It's training, not spring. We're going to win the fucking series. Alright?
Spring series. That's what they need.
World Series for spring, and that team starts with an extra, point towards going to the World
dislike
Series?
being ill.
Oh my god.
I'm fine.
Lies.
Bullshit.
21 people in the chat room. We appreciate every single one of you joining us.
Yay, and 32 in the everything.
So there's 11 people who aren't here. Shame on you people. Shame on you.
You filthy, stinking, dirty lurkers.
It's not that complicated. I made it as easy as possible for everybody. So
Yes, it could not possibly be easier.
it actually might be able to be easier. I just don't know how. I'll look into it in the future. Actually.
There we go.
And while I know the layout's kind of a pain in the butt, that's also going to be changed in the future.
Uh-huh.
When I get the motivation to fucking do it.
It's a penis in the anus.
The video is going to have to be smaller, but whatever.
Time now for some ketchup Doritos.
Jealous. Jealous.
Ketchupy.
You're a bastard, you know that?
Ketchup.
You better be sending some of those to me, motherfucker. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, they're limited edition. They might disappear at any
No,
moment.
no, no. It doesn't have to be Doritos. It could be ketchup chips, okay?
It's
I already
ketchup.
explained
Yeah.
this. So, if I open this package, this future package from you, and there's no ketchup chips in here, I'll actually literally just close the package, mark return the sender, and send it back to you.
Wow.
No, I won't. I'll take everything out of it first, and then send it back to you.
Put
Gorilla
the
poop.
empty box back. Haha, that'll show them.
It says, need more chips.
I don't know, am I actually able to send chips over the border?
I think so.
Yeah, there's no... You can send any sealed, non-perishable food.
This is not perishable, yeah.
Yeah. Non-perishable being like it doesn't need
Yeah, of course.
refrigeration.
I've brought it
Yeah.
across the border before.
Oh, while you're at it, if you're ever going to send me anything, just fucking send me some of those Cadbury candies that we can't get in the States.
Well, like the caramel and stuff.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
mentioned arrows or something? Like, what the heck?
Arrow's good.
Wait. What's arrows? Is that a candy bar?
Arrow. A-E-R-O.
I'll take any kind of Canadian candy that isn't sold in America. Also. Just
Okay.
There's a surprising amount of candy that's not sold in the States. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
Apparently.
we're the fat-ass nation. What the fuck?
I swear to God, I'm gonna go get I'm gonna get 5 lion bars as soon as I find them. Actually, Amazon do have
One.
lion bars.
Plus one. Plus one.
Yeah, exactly.
Lion bars.
Lion bar.
Go lion.
$5 for 6 of them. That's actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad.
Oh my! I thought it said Nestle Lion Bar.
$5 for 6. Oh.
What I actually read was Nestle Lion Bar 52 cram pack of 12. Fuck you and your cram.
D-Man David asks, what time is it in Canada? Well, right now, all of Canada, it's 11:26 p.m.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. That's in the Pacific time zone, which Sean is. It is 11:26 p.m. Pacific time, as he's in Pacific. Metal, who was here earlier, is in Central time. It is 1:30 a.m. So he's no longer with us because he went to fucking bed. Eric is all at what? 2 in the morning.
It's 2:30.
Yeah, and he's in
2:27.
Eastern time zone, and he's awake somehow.
I am
Even
active.
though he has work on Monday, potentially.
Hopefully, yes.
Well,
Barring acts of God.
acts of God, yes. Draven is in Central Time. It's 1:27 there. Meanwhile, Vermin and D Large are in the UK. I thought AC was in the UK, but AC may not be in the UK.
Okay.
It's been a while. Sorry, AC. I do know that AC is I think our only black fan, but that's okay. We love him anyway.
Only black.
Yeah. I don't think anyone else is black. He's the only one who's ever mentioned his race. So. And he doesn't have an afro, and we're very sad about that.
He doesn't? Oh.
No. I told him he needs to grow an afro and shave it in the shape of a G for geeky.
Awesome.
And he immediately realized what assholes you all
And
were.
we never saw him again.
Yep. Manic is I believe Manic's in Southern California. Am I wrong?
SoCal. Are you guys getting the floods down there?
The floods. Rain apocalypse, you mean? No.
It
rain
looked pretty
apocalypse.
crazy. I saw a bit of the news today, having lunch.
Most of SoCal's not having any flash floods now.
Mm.
Most of. In fact, most of LA is just like, it rained for an hour. It's a rain apocalypse! That's LA. They freak out over 4 inches of rain.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, here it hasn't stopped snowing and raining for like 3 weeks, so. Manic. Oh, you're in British Columbia. I'm sorry. I thought you were in SoCal. My bad.
Oh, fellow West Coaster. I probably knew that and just forgot.
Someone here is in Southern California somewhere, I thought.
Hmm. Oh, you're in Florida. I didn't realize you were in Florida, Javi. Fuck you.
Yeah, he moved to Florida at some point, and it's his fault, so.
You're in the state that gives the rest of the country the finger.
And then he knocked up some nice girl and has a baby, so.
Yeah.
You horrible, horrible, horrible.
So I know we didn't see
person.
Javi for a long time because apparently he was just too busy having constant, endless sex.
And then had a baby. And then
He had a baby, so now of course the sex has stopped, so he's back with us again. Yay! You can never have sex again because I might get pregnant again. Oh.
But I thought you liked that.
Well, that's the fun part.
Wow, Ben Christensen, Hawaii, you lucky fuck.
Wow.
Well, lucky in some sense, but unlucky in others, because everything's fucking expensive in Hawaii.
Well, I guess, yeah, being an island, yeah.
For some reason I've read Ben's handle as bench something.
Bench Riston.
Yeah.
Oh, there's this guy called, what's his name? Rambo Panda Bear. And on Reddit, and we called him like Rand Amp O Bear or something like that. And then like when I read his name, I can't read Rainbow Panda Bear. I have to read this fucked up one.
Javi says yes, sex, stop.
Yep.
Oh, I know. It was the same thing for me after Rosie was born. You'll get sex again eventually, when she's about 3.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Some people don't get sex until they're 5. The kid's 5. Just, it happens. Between 3 and 5, the sex will resume. So.
So that means we've got Javi for at least another few years. Yay!
Hey.
Carlotten says it's pretty much hot here in Michigan.
yes, it is.
What's the opposite, Golf?
At least I didn't make that joke this time.
I know.
Most repeat jokes over and over.
I did.
Southern Illinois, more like Southern Illinois.
I did see the hilarious picture earlier today of it was one of those red, cheap cups, and it was like spilled ice on the ground. And it said, meanwhile in Texas, better cancel school.
Oh, I saw that.
It's just a spilt cup of ice.
My favorite is
oh my God!
my favorite is whenever there's an earthquake in California that's less than like 2.0, someone rebrands that picture of a lawn chair falling over and it says, earthquake, so-and-so, March 2013, 2014, whatever, we will rebuild, and it's just a chair knocked over. Like,
the first time I ever saw it was hurricane damage. Instead of hurricane damage, we will rebuild, and it was a deck chair. It was
just a plastic deck chair knocked over, yeah. Justin was here, like, complaining about rain apocalypse in California. Like, oh yeah, wait until you feel an earthquake. Oh, I've been through an earthquake. Like, no, you haven't been through a fucking earthquake. You haven't been through an earthquake till everything falls off the shelf and you have to hold on for your goddamn life. They only come every couple decades, but they fucking happen. That's a fucking earthquake. Otherwise, it's...
What kind of an earthquake on a Richter scale?
4.0 or higher.
I've experienced that, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Thank you. Fuck off.
Really?
Really?
This is
Sean, I'm trying to
6.8.
remember if you were with us or not. The earthquake that we had like right before Christmas time one year. I think it was the first time David ever come out to stay with us. It was before he moved in.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4.0 on liquefaction. Therefore, it'd be an 8.0. Eat me.
Yeah, that one was a 5.3, I think. But they said it was centered about 20 kilometers north of Victoria, which was basically our backyard.
Yeah, a lot of times when I've felt earthquakes here, I've mistaken them for just big trucks going by.
Yeah.
This one was pretty unmistakable. I remember it was at like 5 in the morning, and it completely woke me up.
Man, I survived the fucking Northridge earthquake in 1994, man. That shit was scary. And that was on liquefaction, so it was like a 6.8, and so on the areas of liquefaction, it was even harder because we were shaking more violently.
Well, another big part of that is that the buildings weren't really very well designed for fucking...
Well, I was in a mobile home, so...
Not just that, though. I mean...
I was on a ride of...
he was on wheels. He could have just rode the...
Like, one of the fucked up things about California is most of the buildings are not really built for earthquakes. They weren't until... Until more recently in the last 2 or 3 years.
Plaster and stucco so well with earthquakes.
Just a moment.
But for whatever reason, at least in Seattle and the areas around here, they started working on that, like around that time actually, when the
we also have no liquefaction.
So what? Fucking
no, liquefaction is a big thing because liquefaction actually intensifies earthquakes, shaking, and violent tendencies. So it shakes harder when you're in liquid because it's reverberating. So
I just wanted to interject here before it drifts off the chat. Duncan was just talking about lucid dreaming.
Oh, geez.
And it says, I did become lucid once. I was being chased in a dream and figured out it was a dream. Once I was lucid, I decided the first thing I should try is flying. So I flew. It was fun. It was fun till I flew out of the building I was in. I had been trying to lucid dream for ages, so knew what I was playing with. I flew over a playing field where tons of people suddenly appeared flying kites. I woke up just before I would get tangled in the kite strings. There you go. That's all I wanted to say.
The only time I ever had a lucid dream was, this was back when I was little. I knew I was in a dream, so I thought it would be a good idea to see. I just wanted to see it for some reason, what it would look like if someone walked a pet alligator.
Okay.
You just go to Florida.
So I was standing outside my house. It's in broad daylight. But the common thing for lucid dreaming seems to be everyone wants to fly. And obviously, I was floating.
Because flying's fun.
I was floating. I was hovering or whatever.
I'm afraid of heights, so I'm not going to be flying.
And there was like a sidewalk. We were at a corner house, so it was like a rounded edge sidewalk. And there was just a random person, just like a basically generated person, walking a giant full-grown alligator on a leash. Just walking it, you know? And I was just like, huh. And that's when I woke up.
A little unknown fact is, if you have insomnia, it's much harder to have dreams, much less lucid ones. So I've never lucid dreamed.
I had a dream last night. I don't remember at all what it was about, but I know I had a dream. But that was the first time I had dreamed anything in at least a year.
Well, yeah. The other thing is most people forget dreams right after they wake up. So.
Like me. Well, usually when I have a dream, I love my dreams because they give me great ideas for like stories and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like if I don't write it down within 5 minutes, like even the very first minute after I wake up, it's like 50% of it's faded away.
The other thing is,
I don't get it done in 5 minutes. Right here.
The other thing is,
right here.
When you wake up, try not to look into any bright light. Because if you look into bright light, as soon as you wake up, you will almost instantly forget what you were dreaming about.
No.
I don't know why. So when you wake up, keep your eyes closed, and for God's sake, don't look at any lights.
So
just fumble and look for the pen and the dream diary, and then start writing before you even open your eyes.
I just have an notepad with stickies. I have stickies in my windows from all the dreams I remember.
Or what I used to do was I used to keep a tape recorder next to the bed.
That works too.
So I would have a tape of me sounding very tired, trying to describe the dream I just had.
I was flying out of the...
Well, I know. It's like, it's hilarious. You listen to the first entry on the tape. It's like, okay, I'm going to sleep now, and I'll narrate any dreams that I have later. And like, click, and then click. Okay, I'm awake. I had a dream that I did some stuff, and it was cool.
One thing for me, most of the time, my dreams make absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Like, some of them I remember, and I'll explain what they are, and as I'm explaining them, I'm realizing, wow, this is literally just like a realm of nonsense. It's just like
random shit. My brain
random fucking things that are just happening, like randomly teleporting to random locations, random things happening in the random locations.
Yep.
Random people that wouldn't be in those situations. Just everything was completely random.
I have to tell about 2 dreams I had this week, actually on the same night. Which is sad because it was actually 3 dreams I'd had that were interesting, but now I've completely forgotten what the third one was.
Of course.
But I was telling Eric about these yesterday, I think. So one of which was I had a dream that I was stealing from Morpheus.
From Morpheus?
This one was great. Because I pictured it, and it's fucking fantastic.
Were you being stealthy? In that
trying to be
cast sort of way.
I know exactly what you're referring to, and I will tell that story after I finish these 2.
Right.
I promise. Remind me if I forget. So
I got your message today, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, you should definitely. I was watching Chazman's playing that, actually.
I thought so, because I noticed that he went live and was playing that, and then your message came in like 2 hours later.
It's really awesome, actually. He played it for about 3 or 4 hours today.
I watched a little bit of the stream after your message there. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it
looks
like a lot of fun.
There's a couple games in that series, the Thief games, for those who are wondering. And I've heard that they're really good.
So many times I could just picture you going, oh, shit! As you're like trying not to fall off ledges or make a noise or anything. So anyways, this dream I had. So when I say Morpheus, it was like Lawrence Fishburne dressed up like Morpheus. He was a different character.
You okay?
Oh, what did I walk into? Jesus.
It's a dream I had.
Okay.
So he was like some sort of like a mobster or something like that, and I'd been invited to his mansion like for dinner. And then, for whatever reason, I was staying overnight. It was like the...
So you're sitting there at the dinner table like, oh, that's very interesting. Chink. Oh, really? Yes. Chink, 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 chink.
Oh, my God.
Please tell me more. It's like stealing the cutlery.
Oh, my God.
What's that over there?
I'm gonna steal your thunder and say, Zach Reich had a dream where a kid slipped, fell down,
like,
with head to his leg, and peed on himself.
Shirt just bulging with cups.
Just walking away like,
well,
shame,
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Wow. That was what was it? That was a movie or something.
I think it's been several.
Or a cartoon or
that's
something.
just Bender.
I was just gonna say
yeah, totally.
Like that episode you told me about, Eric, where it's like every time he's on frame, he's stealing something.
Yeah.
yeah, the one where Leela thinks she found her true home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and he keeps stealing the gems out of all the statues.
I love it when he steals the sword. He puts it in and like goes down his like right leg, and then he walks, he goes, ow. Ow. And like hobbles off.
Anyways, so it's funny because you make it sound so funny, but the dream was actually quite serious.
Okay.
They had a very serious tone. So I was staying overnight at the house, and basically I had organized this heist, like to take place like right under his nose without him knowing, kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, I'm in my room and there's like stacks of cash in various parts of the room that I'm finding and stuff like that. And so for whatever reason, the door to my room had like a peephole on it.
And did you find pot roasts stuffed into all the candlesticks?
No.
Okay.
So the door had a peephole, and so I was able to look out, and it was actually almost like Valhalla, you know, where we lived, Sean?
Yep.
In that it was like this big great room, and then there was a second floor balcony, and then you remember like the door to the parents' room where it like had the windows? There's those little wooden double doors. It was like right beside where you lived.
Oh, yes.
Into that little hallway, there's like the double doors of glass.
Yes.
So that's where Morpheus's room was.
Okay.
And so, anyways, I would look out every once in a while to make sure like everything's still cool, and then I would go. So I had just found this stack of cash. It was like hidden in a book or something like that. So I'm like scooping it into my bag and like that. And so I went back to check, and then Morpheus was just standing there behind the glass, just staring.
Just like watching everything you're doing.
Well, there's no way he could have seen me because I was behind a solid door, and I only had like this little peephole to look out.
Oh, okay.
But it was as though he knew something was up, and he was sort of... He wasn't able to see right at me, but he was staring right at me at the same time. It was really creepy, and I like instantly...
Nerving.
I like instantly woke up.
You're like, ah!
Because it was a form of lucid, actually, because I was like, okay, wake up now, and then I woke up.
Yeah.
Because I just knew something bad was going to happen if I stayed in the dream.
That's right. Just
and done.
Staring at you.
Like, what are you doing with all my money?
That's just kind of creepy to think about that you're looking through this peephole. See, for me, the ultimate fear would be like, you look through the peephole and you see him standing there, just kind of staring, and you go, oh.
Like
so
behind his door or whatever.
Yeah. Behind the door, and then you look again, and he's like 2 inches from the fucking peephole, just like looking.
In front of your door.
In front of your door.
All right.
I know. Just standing there, just staring. Or like, all you see is like his neck, and he just like lowers down and looks directly into the peephole. You're like, oh, that's when I would wake up and probably shit myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was what I was trying to...
Wake up in a puddle of pee.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid, I think, so...
Yeah.
But the other dream I had, I told Eric about this one too, was for some reason I had to write my grade 12 German exam again. And so and I'm thinking like, okay, this sucks because I can't remember any German. So I'm like,
great,
like desperately trying to remember what I wrote on my original exam. So it's like, okay, maybe I can retell a story and I can kind of remember some of the dialogues. So for some reason, the exam room was like in a mall.
Okay.
It was like in the main like foyer of a mall, and I was sitting beside like some water feature or something like that, and like we're like waiting for the desks to get set up or something like that. So
waiting
there's
for the deaths to get set up?
Desks.
Oh.
And so there was anyways, just off to the side there was a washroom. And it was all, like, open. It was one of those ones where it's just kind of you walk in and you're in the washroom kind of thing.
Right.
And so there was somebody in there. It was, like, I think a high school kid or something, also writing the exam. And he just kept farting on the toilet.
Just endlessly?
Like, not one continuous fart, but just, like, several farts, just, like, nonstop. And I remember, like, people, like, you could hear it from outside the bathroom. So people were, like, starting to worry about him. Like, is he okay? There's no way he should be farting this much, you know?
Good God.
And so, like, I think, like, one of the teachers or something went in to check on him, but the room smelled too bad because he'd been farting the whole time. He couldn't, like, go check on him.
Of course, only you would have a dream where it starts off as a nice little, uncomfortable story about having to do an exam, and it turns into an epic of farts.
Farts and poop. Every fucking time.
You know what I realized it was? Because this is another thing with me, is like a lot of things...
realized it was you farting the whole time.
No!
And you
That's what Charlotte said, too.
Cloud of your own.
My girlfriend.
Oh,
my girlfriend pictured our upstairs being like, holy shit.
We know you too well.
Brilliant.
It was actually my toilet. The around the flapper, like the little ring or whatever is leaking.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes little air bubbles will come out at night, like rhythmically. So it was making it does make sort of a fart noise sometimes. So it was doing that, and it incorporated itself into my dream.
So it just manifested
as
into
a
your
person
dream.
farting.
As someone just uncontrollably farting in the bathroom.
Farting
Yeah, basically just-
uncontrollably in unhealthy amounts.
Well, just sitting on the toilet, just like. For like 20 minutes. What's wrong with you?
I love when that shit happens, though, when you have a dream based on something that's going on in the real world.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you're hearing, and you don't even realize that your dream is being created based on that.
Yeah.
Oh god, the most surreal.
Well, I
Most
had one like
surreal
that
thing.
actually. I had one like that about a month ago, or a couple months ago. So, to give you the context on this, I'll play. This is my iPhone alarm tone when my alarm goes off.
Okay.
It's a little piano riff, right?
Oh
Yeah.
god.
So,
And it's like the blues riff.
yeah, exactly.
The generic blues riff number 7, yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that's my ringtone. So, it incorporated itself into a dream I had. I had a dream I was at a funeral.
And he started
And-
singing the blues.
No!
I love when Sean does this.
Do-do-do-do-do. I used to know
Oh
this
my
guy,
God.
do-do-do-do-do, but now he's dead.
Oh,
Do-do-do-do-do. It was climbing a tree, do-do-do-do-do-do, and he fell on his head.
Oh my god.
Actually, I may have one up to this time, Sean. Actually, what actually happened to me might even be funnier than your hijacking.
Oh god.
And then he just proceeds not to tell us. That'd be great.
Yeah. No. I was like filing in with everybody else, and there was like there was a piano in the room or something like that. So somebody's playing just some somber, everybody filing in music.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of our aunts or something like that, but I don't actually know who it was. Like, it wasn't a specific person in the dream. It was just someone I knew to be my aunt.
Right.
So playing somber music, and then all of a sudden started going da 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 da, and then we couldn't stop her from playing it because, of course, I hadn't stopped my alarm, right?
Right.
So it's just like, we're like, is she okay? Like, why is she, And then
Always
we,
a subject of concern. Is that
I know.
A?
And then it's still going, da, 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 da. So we went up and we're like, Aunt so-and-so, like, we need to start the ceremony. Da, 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 da. And it just kept going.
It's just like her nervous tick.
It's weird because, again, in the dream, it was like a serious, like, concerning thing, but of course, telling it now, it's hilarious.
It's like, why do you keep stop it? Stop it!
Stop
You're
playing
like pulling your hands away from the piano.
Well, eventually she stopped because I actually ran out the entire length of time that alarm plays on the iPhone.
Oh my god.
So I woke up and I was like severely late for class.
Wow. My
say
friends
probably
are weird.
The weirdest dream experience you could possibly ever have is a dreaming that you wake up.
I've had that.
Where you're in
Dream
bed and you wake up and you do something for some reason.
Yeah.
And you go back to sleep and then you wake up again and you actually have to question yourself. Like, I've done this a couple times where I sleep, my alarm clock and like my tablet is all kind of around my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Where in a dream I would wake up and like the tablet would be like bright and like facing me and like blinding me or whatever, so I'd turn it around and go back to sleep, and I'd wake up and my tablet is facing me again, and it would freak me out, and I just wonder, I go, wait a minute, how did that get turned back around? And stuff like that, and it just stuff like that, just little tiny ones, and that's just like it's very surreal and awkward. But
yeah, well, the other day I had a dream that I woke up and I was like getting ready for work and stuff. And like I was in the middle of getting ready and getting dressed, making coffee, making food, and then my alarm went off, and I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I was already like halfway ready. It's very disorienting.
I think had the dream where they're stepping off a cliff. and they're like
all the time.
Like where you're dreaming, you step off a cliff, and you like as soon as you take that first step, and you know there's nothing under you, you wake up and you like kick your leg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
I've
had
done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a wooden footboard.
Oh no.
And, like it wasn't like the actual board itself I couldn't kick, but the little pegs on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just fallen asleep, and I had that dream, and I woke up and kicked my leg, and I actually kicked the top of the footboard off.
Holy shit!
Broke it, like snapped it, like I was like some kind of fucking ninja or something.
Well,
Bam! And it's,
I get that sometimes, like just as I'm falling asleep, you get that body spasm.
You know what it is?
Where it's like just sort of like just drifting off and just kind of getting comfortable and suddenly falling off a cliff. Ah!
Yeah,
I hate that. You know what? It's actually
It's like out of nowhere.
It's actually called. There's a term for it.
Mm.
I learned this in first year psychology, and I'll tell you why I will always remember this.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a myoclonic jerk.
Yeah.
And it's actually your brainwave switching when you're going from, I think it's from stage 1 to stage 2 sleep.
Yeah.
Because stage 1 sleep is where you're just sort of drifting off and that sort of thing. So it's when you're switching. Sometimes your brain doesn't quite. It's like a gear change basically.
Yeah.
And sometimes your brain doesn't quite make it, and so it wakes you up instead of putting you into the next stage.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And the reason why I remember this is I was in a first year psych lecture. And in a big lecture hall, there's about 130 of us.
And you started to drift off?
No, the guy behind me did.
Oh.
So
like Mr.
our prof explains the term. And says, so, you know, and he explained exactly as you did. You ever get that feeling that suddenly you're falling off a cliff? Everybody agreed.
Yeah.
And it's called a myoclonic jerk like that. About 5 minutes, not even after he just explained it, the guy behind me, like kind of tall guy, kind of long legs, just goes... And so, like, everybody in our little corner just burst out laughing. Like, people at the other end of the hall had no idea what had happened, but
yeah,
it was just so perfect, and that just cemented that term in my head for me.
He just explained it 5 minutes later. It happened right behind you.
I know. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But sorry, I do have to tell the story Sean was alluding to.
Oh, yes.
It's a dream I had when I was probably about 9 or 10. And it's forever stuck with Sean and I. Like, we reference this one all the time. It's probably my most remembered childhood dream.
We have one of our many inside jokes.
Yes.
I'll share with all of you.
There you go. So, I had a dream that I had broken into a house with a bunch of other kids my age. We were like being the bad kids or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that.
Although what's funny is the odd thing was it was actually my own house. But in the dream it wasn't. You ever get that sort of thing where it's like you're somewhere that it's your own place, but yet it isn't? So it was one of those.
Yeah,
yep.
Sort of.
Or I've had ones where it's like, okay, I need to get home. Actually, the naked dream, I get that a lot.
The naked dream.
It's like I'm hiding in a room somewhere, and I'm like, okay, I need to get home and put some clothes on, but I'm actually hiding in my bedroom. It's like, well, all my clothes are right here. In the dream, it's somewhere else. So anyways, I broke into this house, and I guess we set off an alarm or something like that. But anyways, we knew the cops were coming for us. And so we quickly went and like hid behind a table or something like that just to sort of hide from view. And so the cops had come in, like they were searching the house. It was like, quick, let's hide back here. And so we're hiding like that. So this one cop comes in, she has her flashlight. It was a female cop. And, she checks the whole room, like, scans it again just to be sure there's nobody in there and like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like goes, okay, like, kitchen secure or something like that, and turns around to leave. And then out of nowhere, I just stood up from our hiding spot and went, la! And the cops are all like, there they are, get him! And then we all got arrested.
So they were in the clear.
Yeah. Like,
the cast just decided out of nowhere, la!
to get caught. But actually, I remember the rest of the dream.
Yeah.
I was being escorted down the driveway to the police car, and then I was all like in tears and sobbing and crying. I'm like, well, this is it. My life is over, and now I'm a criminal and all this stuff. And apparently, I made the cop start crying, and so she just set me free.
My life's
Weird.
over.
Like, oh, you're right. Here, go.
All your other friends went to jail, but you were fine.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them, but I managed to pull it off.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so Sean and I have vowed that we need to incorporate that into a movie somehow.
Yes.
It's like, it's having to set up a diversion or something.
Love.
Good lord, people.
Or just a guy who can't stand to be stealthy.
So we're at a 3 hour mark.
It's alright, you're better than the last guy.
We're at our
Cut to
3
that
hour
scene.
mark. Actually, we have one more minute.
Yeah, we can keep going if you want. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm kind of dying. I'm thinking we should probably.
That's fine.
Cut
Won't
it
matter
down.
until we actually have shows that appear on.
Better than the opening scene.
Yeah,
Well,
it'll be a rerun of something, the preceding program has interrupted this broadcast. Damn it!
Yep.
This chat makes me moist.
Oh.
No.
And that's where we'll end it.
Good night, everybody.
Well, yeah.
Eric, ruin it for everybody.
Any final words, folks?
Moist. My penis moist.
Feel free, if you'd like to see, to please click that donate button below and send us a couple bucks so we can improve the quality of this.
There you
I
go.
like dreaming.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
donating will make us all moist.
Well, it'll make all of them. I don't get any of that donation money. It all
It's going
goes,
right into the site.
it all goes to
It's
these
not going
guys.
to. It's not like going to me. It's going to get equipment and
Yes.
services ready for.
It'll make
need-
geeky.com moist.
Yes. I gotta get a programmer to fucking
But
program PHP, Ajax, and.
if you also want to donate to all of us
jQuery.
individually, you can do that as well.
Yes. I'm looking for a programmer that knows PHP, Ajax, and jQuery, because I need to modify the site.
There you go.
We need someone who knows what the fuck they're doing.
That helps. Yes.
Yeah.
She-Hulk goes, it's beer 30 a.m.
Nice.
Beer 30.
It's actually beer o'clock a.m. here. So.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's it for another week. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Sorry I was coughing my guts out the whole frickin' time. I should be mended by next week. We'll be doing more group viewings this week as well. We're going to be starting on Armored Fleet Die Rugger 15, which is the other Japanese show that Voltron is based on. And we'll probably sneak a few movies in there somewhere, too, just to break things up a little bit.
And Burn Podcast Burn, 7 p.m. on Wednesday, the specific. And on Friday is at 8 a.m. Pacific is Screenplay Date, and at 8 p.m. Pacific is Movie Gangbang. That's our current lineup. That's the entire lineup currently.
That's the entire Geeky TV schedule.
And if you want to have your own show, just send me an email at skinslip@geeky.com, and we'll get to cracking on that, because I need more shows, and you could be the next big thing.
There you go. Awesome.
Please be the next big thing. Please.
We need big things.
We had 6,000 views on that article the other day.
I know, that's
It's
crazy.
fucking insane.
That's awesome.
So. Alright, so that's it.
All right. I guess that's everything. There, we covered everything. Alrighty.
We're good.
And everybody.
I have plenty more DVD and Blu-ray updates coming. I just have not felt healthy enough to film them, understandably, I'm sure. But once I'm not coughing every 30 seconds, I will do some videos and stuff. Yeah. Alrighty.
I actually rendered a video today myself, so
Awesome.
there you
Cool.
Content.
You didn't need your mommy's help this time to render it, eh?
Ah.
So he said, I rendered it myself.
Oh my
all
god.
by myself.
I don't know these people.
All
This doesn't really
by
clap.
myself.
Oh, Jesus.
All by myself.